na efira wo hasa so na obasima se wa kuto ono nso e wo ha on top people nti oboni din tenten anka wo tro a na wo to letter bia na obehu se ho asema de se wa tena se sa so na efira kwadwodexin wo ha ye behwehwe kuwa krata hodo na afi online stories topical na ya hwehwehwe mu ama monso mahu de ekoso o man mu na yatimi de aka no so atoaso amamo. This is Angel in the Morning, Angel 102.9 FM, Angel TV baby amosha bia so text messages and afi de amode efa yen Facebook and other platforms so na brepam ye be kind nyina de amamo. Yankona yankofa newspapers no emremo sewa akwaba
ya oba
bibi aboko de
na me adom official panso
ya asem ketua o
ho ayefe o ho ayefe nso aden
me ho ayefe nyese me ho ayefe
okay so obi o ha ne ho ofe but said the wasiesie ho osiesie wi a ohu so obi o so ne ho nyefe but osiesie ne ho wi a ohu so
ti say we say o ho ofe osiesie ho wan siesie ho
eno na efe ne enimuane enim sa
we no Peruvian and Brazilian and I say
we be kan wo eche ho de say ha
determine the price in tentem
but oni body edin
and then me say say wa koto onim Obama
sa
hey Obama right catch them no
na me kai sanne and wa ti atum
onime
wa ti
unim Obama Obama ti atenkan na we jaja na we free kumasi sunwa
yira kwan kra
he's been like this all
mama crachini o betina TV so abegu me
that be unim that be me who anim ase dey make sure ne say you look good o wa ye fe sana me kan yo man ka
say aye no na just say no anye
me hu nra o say me start me say official pa ana me say oba anope wo aye fe
kese wo hu efe nka say aye
wo afe ne ye de nyame abo we ye de wa de aka ho
okay bati ase
o hu ofe e kire say ye bo wa hu ofe
okay
o hu aye fe e kire say wa enhance
we ase kra obi a hu ofe e
ko ya ma obi a hu ofe obi a hu ofe nti oba
esti hu ofe
ka cho ba so nyintum say
obi a hu ofe
ka cho ba so nyintum say ne hu aye fe
me hu aye fe
o hu ofe e wa sa de bia ka ho hu aye fe
ne nyina munim se me hu
eti hu aye fa me enka
speak about mo fa bi mra me why that am
let me use fine okay
ya chance na ye fan free ko akrata ahodo no over
yo oba bibi jebo kinkin and 7th na say mother eti na do ko fie JDM ba ebewura ho
to ababo sumini
ai
pepe ni na do so tena akonwa so enfie wo pepe ne pepe eti ba tendra na dwo no se dia constitution no esitie no na wo se Ghana mrahye bedwa no ye dissolve no ye keka konwa no te se de bibia kransi da eda no nyina na ye nfoforo kra ye to abawi a sa na wo se tendra no mo ko dissolve parliament no na the TNA the dissolve parliament no the last day and sana the new president na ba besai enti say wo dissolve no fifth na sixth no mo a na che say say watu aba nti o said the suoma na junta na the suoma nyina na che say wo mo dissolve parliament na wo mo eba be speaker e na o san sana new president no betra asent no e wo say yenye speaker wo tia konwan mu ya obema na kwa aba enti sheshe wamo atu aba ama wamo yi owura abambaben ya we speaker dada no wasan anya bio na wedi ekoyi afenu ni na omo so obia so opene so wa mra kura enti wo moyi honorable Abambabin na ansa na ebeyi no na che president elect kura tonkra so ono akra no open nti wosre say wo munkoyi no makwakoyi no enti enne ene oba betena akonwa mu na wo kiremu a na kire say according to honorable Ferris Kwachi ofusu no amampanifo a na yebehu wo mo wase ya mo ba behwe bia beboa inauguration wo yedu enti wo mu nyina ebenuma ba bedru ehyeso mu hotels ebenum so ka klase wo mu esifom anisa na wodi kan de mpanifo bi so agu ekwam ya wo mo beboa na nim na konwa no na ansa na wotra konwa no so bi a wahase de ne cabinet ministers e no mo be adwuma no atu adwatu make say Dr. Callistus Mahama or executive secretary at the president no or di carbon dindada Prosper Douglas Bani or also head of interim security task force no babon to ye nyina na obade atiano say babon to ye no ye nya ma baako
sir
se make say sia ya kasa se ete ye na do da so ye Ghana president yenya mfa x no be share ni dinanim
okay
into your president na president na wa ba no Ghana security nsem nya da so da na bem ante say JDM ebe so afuna no no wosaye enti babon to ye nyina no da na do abem de nanso do wa ba no so wonya ni nyina ma na do nko an say o na oda so ye president menya manti ye bibia sa enti ono so atoto ni security element nyina kama na wode owura Prosper Douglas Bani atoa no ya we ye de let's say sa na ekon wani afi Dr. Valerie Soya ono so senior advisor enti wo betu mampanifo na panipa wode mu no wo ba wo ye so upaso kuto mampani Mahama fo a di kanfa Dr. Valerie Soya ho so openi adwuna mpase me de bani na onso no so ansa na eno etimi ayadwuma afi Augustine Guzitando em say wo mum so anon hyede nim ne papa
on attain ho no reform
I know former president Jerry Lawrence
almost papa ko wase broni
na yeso wo kwa for the ko yeso no timi papa de pa waka no so aka no se papa de na ja soja se mi it waka na bi ma ko champagne na Guzitano no waka pe no opie
onyina oh when him cry
yes jeje run set me kasa hey did you hear me was yes I did
no it's no na mpa so ko
it's not just say the no so shepa them say minim e bia JDM ahwe so wo say JDM so ono no what JDM so tumi oni mu futu pa o
adan
hey JDM
adan nyansa bensi wa ka kire
wa ye what say I say president go form the NB
and president elect nse ono so
well
way of
when I make Muhammad Nasir
elect you
president elect enti America advanced countries no one use
for elect in
one the count but one the as title down mo bia as
no do number na
a serving army officer is still you what post that you more na JDM no wanya enipa wo ba no bububa ne die ne wonu mu
boko
said we see Victor the beja sorry a friend say obey Victoria Hama don't say ne die no na
$1 million
no ko di nkomo say woni die partner woman no empire wo ba so nya $1 million bia no waja ho partner
ma no
and fire no and now but sports minister no it's one part was haji obiadi
sports minister there kofo
the kofo the is Mahama so say be yi the
sports minister yes was minister and o ma bere o
minister yi na di what no and so actually to mo say me kayam de be ba
o say yes is a that time no abuga pele money
and to so JDM de no one no so nya obecho
enu ehu o wo fa
enu de onu hu
o dangerous child o ye kika
o ha ne nkrofo ne bebre pa
sa na president kofo so tie
kofo so sa
Francis Opoku
yes
former no ye
national security
you know almost no one president Kufuor ebo papa ne pa department bo Kufuor asare but onya no so Mr. President, it's me. Yes, I know.
Yes, you. I know. Who's that? Leaders, no. And yes, a time be an be out there bufushe one idea. Sa leadership style, no day. Nipa or ye calm, but or ye firm. Or take a decision. I was at JDMDB and the ministers bear 3. Yeah. And the Bas Brandon. Utimus on any very close. But a true say in free. Enka Vicky Hamadi na nsheda nya de bia nkomodi die mu
bia ka ya foolish case
minya $1 million
mani swadi hu no
ana me hu se bia hye de ma me ntimi account for say Kufuor de ya mo so yi ni minister bia o pen no padi
yes
na minister ne de afa ba bia enye ye na o de ko fa asofo bia obi si obu president Kufuor bu no pa no sofo no drive call president Kufuor fie say Papa, I don't pay them seven bet and my bomb payamo. So says I know so we are matching me dancing. Me we are not me papa na
ne crack
me bay Martin once and be say you could form bonitias ye baby I send me a fight.
I sent from Safabon.
Send me their fabon. I say papa we the best or Bawan what it no Naniso I didn't know we are singing until we didn't Kebeya Cafacheno. This is of work. Ka dear me find channel so mediache. Ti ode me catch and say me am a friend no say Kufuor na dwe so be sake no ti re catch and say me am a friend no ti wo wia one ne di nkoma say papa say obe friend na bibi obi o maka say Kufuor dia mo meeting o mayi na di ti so for no say onam kwan so a wo kwa na president Kufuor frɛ minister no say eja udisi shi ya iteki say so for we ba me so na me be ka say ni won so ye nipa bia me bu no pa ade we dia fa bone pa tinka say the city no nka ye be yi wadi by we dia nka wa resign say be
what makes the difference?
Honorably. You have done it honorably.
Also said the city and can the crater but say ye you wadi but papa ya be ka dia o de wa resign
do
were you nti leaderships are na heading were you
and you know na ka say enso hye mfa ni pada boko na de wo
because ade see wo Malamisa no $40,000 at Ira airport and $40,000 and we can once a month and yes
but then
Malamisa 3-4 months into office
$40,000 Canada Japan this is a peanut man
ye jelino and you say or refund ya me jelino in team say Ghana no ya fa process be more that time na say and then no near be free cause wa
and ntina brofo no e call money mo no
yeah
so yeah, one more throw firing. And we are born so or take responsibility. Me no kasa say Canadian prime minister.
Yeah, trade you.
Resign.
No be resign.
Ne ba would one year born kase.
Yeah, train papa fi krom ha train na say ono ani minister MPs in the okron. Why say this a great this a great
96 MPs and Mr. Shakrata say President Emma Finance Minister Oforiata enko
ebinsi da
was da na papa da
wow and the hana their responsibility na accountability
Ghana na ye bi men can say tuntum su na ana Ghana like nipa tuntum su
na enyo mu nyina
but we Americans so mo yesa o
mo yesa na nipa tuntum bi so Paul Kagame Rwanda president we the person to say na
but
so I do not say
broni die
so na dwe ne koyie no ye bibini o ye broni die
we are
broni no broni aye no ya adwene na nipa emba nipa ye broni ana se ma nipa ye bibini ya adwene
die enya ne ye bibini adwene eti o ye broni kokra no ye niema bi enkoyie ya se ada ye bibini
wa before bebre a omo ye principle and that's the problem Kofi Annan and Oran a principle make us say ye you were dear and pacho. Mimi won't say and culture no na kofa sa Gatua hine and Grobia Gatua hine woman. Chrono entimi koso.
And the bia should be wom.
Boni BSC Gatua hine ba
me so bia di bone pa ye say Gatua hine na say ahye da yi o hine a
ono de
e ma bone for. Enti say ya nyi sa de na mfiri wona So we hear Jumana Wadrian was yent the obey be a yent mean
and your wa be so in the past.
Time you have to be on alert to say may call wronger. There is somebody watching. Ntinama Asia for death sentence for corruption. Obokronuna magnitude no was stroke a trust and threshold. Yekun.
It said they were kunipa.
What kunipa yekun be and say ya massa near mana me badia yentumi koyenim.
And will be also slow and yakum will be no. What one man was shed you be quiet the kun no.
Exactly.
Of how sanity.
And I think said Oba I was ye pet to say they can join to him and join to him as me. Yenim sa de na my ye adena me ye nye. Mako join to ye patcha ma me see mfanche me but the replication of adena esie no nye one ye hew.
Debi.
So adena me ye na ye mfom so na me pa ho che na mpese ye mfanche me no. Ade bone na aye no akose no ye hwe ho
nipa obetima fight robots. Obetima fight corruption or Ghana robots.
Ono wonti obi
only abusua. Only a robot can effectively fight corruption and the malfeasance in Ghana, especially Africa. Unko huna abusua ni bia. Unko ne maame ho unko ka se kasatre o banana. Yes wo mo witch hunt ana bibi. Yes sir.
Oba a time no sona no na now do the last sona.
Right.
State of the Nation address ni twa to no koye no anano Friday.
Yes.
So man for anya video ni bia hwa. So on say first lady.
Yeah.
Auntie Rebecca.
Yeah.
Oni speaker enya fracas kakra bi. And said them people but say tell us super and what me atini.
Yes.
Omo pro wie ye no. Na omo si former mo bi abefa ne ka akofie no. Na speaker first lady
Achiano
abedi no fair way sa wote
no one fee
no and will be first lady say auntie honorable afro what 10 year what as my catch no o say and also be from why what one nkofo ki kansam basbasa na what wo show masa
onka oda
on can order on tell bia enti let's just say no fast free so so enkofo antima amenase and the bit so ese osanka ma amena nkasa no in as much as we first lady no when you politician don't enkofo hu no that particular moment no oba that particular moment what's your context no one
human mode
exactly now she wasn't a politician at that particular moment enti dear otwon mo na yen say ye didi ne kunatem ye tutu ne kuna yampia
ofana minim se maame ne nso ono nso akasa ache ne kunu se mane nkasa ntia manfo ana because when politician now uti atem didi dia was uti se obi so di politician atem from ofia because ye nyina wo ha ye nte se wo kasa akire ebi e ma bonten wo kasa akire ne kunu se enka nkire professor so professor do little
obede hu se woka
ana me kasa dia ma bonten ebi wo kasa akire ne kunu wontie enti se da wo kasa akire kunu wontie ne sa oba bi so kasa akire ba bi won so
ntie enti ono so ba ke bia che
na ho na me ba no Sir, Auntie Rebecca, first lady, what baho? A man set na baho say we a politician ya, and Kenya ya.
Kobechi have fast
because then you could crash. Yeah, friend, the worst president ever in the history of the country.
Beya ya momo.
Ya pa, sir, Sabra make us say for friend, for one course ni be crab wabano so. Oh, be pass ni mikukasa. Crowd be banana branding kwa. Oh, why ya dear
darling, Sweden president of Mahama. Darling, congratulations. I'm not be
diplomatic call. High commissioners, ambassadors, omo ebi wa homo shebi na adwuma bebrebe na na so ukunu de de kwa omo wia ensema na ekoso nya so na wo so na no omo eko gazette ebeda ho na the digital council the worst ever president Ghana yenya of the republic na mamne na say ya ka say to atwa oba say to atwa make say foforo asa pie
de bima
enti and anti beki besa su
obi besa aka biem
tie
aha
honorable Dr. Atuforson
okay
Andra before say parliament no be yi ababa be no di kan kasai wasa beka bio
the West President
ewo Ghana bakosemu no ene wo kro no ene wo be kro no na odi nyina so bai Dr. Atuforson say nanado amamuo mu no scandal eburukasem friend say bisabi tutrasem no ne bone ne katansa ne proye suban bone pa na yenum se koko on daily basis debia the one market nanado amamuo no yes
and I was say antibeki omuma ne she headphone
ese so omuma ne tie bie
omuma ne tie bi
ninya so bi ne say COVID-19 sika na ebaye no na COVID-19 no na do agia na woni na bampen for na wo mo so echedi o mai basa ba kono no
meko ahoma ne so abasisi a anti antibeki se na de utiem se wo ba de na se na utie nwom enye sa ade e be for wasum no ye ne eye lawyer Nana Obribo Ahin, former Deputy General Secretary for the MPP. Abronye ena ofri. Wono ena yenene din command anopai. Nana yama wache eba Angel 102.9 FM so in Angel TV.
Yeah, Major so. I no wanna say.
You're from Sadiq Adams. Bibi aboko there.
Hey, so Obama.
Nana.
Obama.
Nana.
Roger Dabia, me know you can't Ghana football as some or moon ya no so when you could do.
I was say a car, she say a good until say a day any chamber before fro.
We know Dabia, obviously, and I would honest Obama. Dabia, I don't know when you pause for Ghana football. Huh? Obama. About topic now with the seminar the Mugu. Then I know my opportunity per unya. What you Manchester young man.
Na Magoya asemi timu yi asemu yi na free mu a na mo sa de na ba mu yi na free mu a na mo de na e wo se mutimi ye fam na mu yi ni se nchen because
I think that look there's something which the Manchester United man look at. Because Sancho call Chelsea. I mean he's doing very well.
Exactly.
Of Manchester kwa oya de o Manchester so a and a similar story can be told of Barcelona, or Nipano Barcelona, free Barcelona qua. That's a pressure, no, and that's a candidate to Cotoconos or Cotoqua. Not pressure, so that's all cornerstone and answer heroes who announce or call the pressure now, you know, or you know, Bopa. No, now last time they do footballer from Nigeria, there be a politics, eh? What I SDA ni not or member ni to me.
So wako tu. Ase de via politics. Na ya besa amba ye ball no so pa na eno de hia, eno ye dejeje ani. Na anopai de em se ye frewa ni nyina ye tiawa ye nim de ekoso anopai e wo Ghana ene de ekoso enra from the 8th to the 9th parliament swearing in akoso ama speaker, first deputy, second deputy. Minim se omo ye yi omo nyina. And especially most of the members of parliament unimomo by conversation, unimomo by career, unimomo by politics. How do you see the newly constituted parliament, the leadership and the membership?
Oh, it's good. It's good. I Buddha. Nah, man, a problem now. Me wa. Sometimes both MPP phone crab be intimate masi and say, oh, Pekasa dodo. Pekasa na mipo. And you must be worried about some events that is your Ghana. I mean, when you have phone in Mutimo, TV, and FM networking in What? You live in a country. Let's take Kumasi. President Mahama by we started with Ofurukuru Market. Ofo by when we President Mahama by Ofurukuru Market. No, Ofurukuru Crowfrom
Market.
Good. President Mahama so by when we Nana Akufo-Addo about 8 years. When we, what kind of cycle are we going through as Ghanaians, as intellectuals? Is it a very good cycle for us? And I don't know if so young this in our power, I'm sure bring my Pekasa. A young people show power, Namiko, they show bring my Pekasa. But into one time, say, go for market, go for started it. Mahama, and no Saba, Mahama, the two us Akufo-Addo about 8 years, and he's going back. Go for market. And that's what this year. I mean, are we being fair to ourselves as Ghanaians? These are some of the issues I've been hammering upon. Because guys and I got to your party, but I got to my own party. I'll continue to raise a lot of pertinent issues in this country. Look, all right, and this focus on it. And people for be saying unconstitutional, and people for be saying, I'm from Phobic of Bissam, what is wrong about that? But and people didn't know cancer. My conscience tells me, say, a group of people say, Operation Recover All Loots, or more Pidini, or more Quadrotini, or more Quabonadini, or more time limit. Recover All Loots is can be from 1960 to today. No, be sure that you are right to recover all Loots. When people take a 7 pencil. Every day, I mean, when you're doing it. I mean, they make us make the support to all run. But just I want them someone run a wish anthem. Now, also know when people mammy can set me support to all right here. So I can call them some information into them, baby. I mean, these are, I don't know, some of us feel very bitter when you find things are not going on well. Now, so okay. But I think that in terms of infrastructure, and people are banning where you are change a bambia. And they so be a say, Abana, dear Kenny, Kwame Nkrumah Bane, and never atama amount for Dinipan. But let's be very honest, yeah, we Ghana. In terms of facilities, infrastructure, any poor policies, and people are buying higher dear Kenya Bambia. It is an undeniable fact. It is an undeniable fact that and can bet to buy more. Now, say buy it and be and say be also by and I on bet to buy in terms of man and count myself. Look, let's come back to this aura. Listen, support. I'm just advising that we could get to black one just any witch hunting. But if indeed it is true that we want to recover all this, what is wrong about that? Loot property is meant for the country Ghana. Property is meant for the country Ghana. I say, I'm busy, you're honey, and I be a mayor copa. What's it, Debbie? I said, being to say, I could use a person in the come anymore, not in the kaboom. Who's a president of one who to make? Now, let's come to another issue. As we are talking today, Sinane, jelly, tomatoes, watermelon, if Burkina Faso never. Kojina Tachiman, and one want to collect a semijane, one who bedru ha. Tomatoes, one who could bedru ha. If Burkina Faso, and watermelon. Kumase, sa, babibia, sa, jane, tomatoes, water, and karanyina, sa. Now you ask yourself, we've done with planting for food and jobs for almost 6 years. I agree. Yeah, we have achieved some successes with this planting for food and jobs. But I think that, look, we must sit down and examine the policy very well. I feel very pity for them. I'm begging them back. I'm not in your Jumanya. I'm not in your Jumanya. When your Jumanya is not a country, yes, sir. When your Juma intimate take care of the or hadn't done an advance, I was wrong. Or hadn't done an advance, was I'm paying him back. And young, dreaming I need money and none of fee. I just say, but the system, 6 months up to today. If you're able to put in place measures, adequate measures, so never have my man and my own so never I don't pay you to be out by Hanoa. May a koyana by. What today? Mamma, some of you,
Matthias.
When you people for Kwana, many Baba come to Pia. Many back one, many Baba could the Pia. When they make a mass of Mamma come again. And just me 100% right. Look, yɛtiri ma bi bɛrɛ bɛkɔ fa sky tree na me say na nsɛm hunu saa no ɛfiri hemfa kra na nam fam kra me yɛn na motim di aba na waka sɛ ɔkɔ fa sky tree I call it nsɛm hunu we must be very much worried about this train na nam fam no ɛwɔ hemfa President Mahama council let's start from North no ajekum kofo enkan Kumasi train anya adwuma North Kumasi train anya adwuma Mahama Kumasi train anya adwuma Akufo-Addo Kumasi enkan train anya adwuma na ye koya na ase ba mi pasa na benya sika atwa lupri mi pasa na train wo hono ma ubatum se yakwa buruchire keteke ya na yafako so from Akufo to today 24 years keteke timi nya adwuma fi nkan MSC Kumasi na campus Abashinyane na campus ako Takurade na campus ako Paga campus ako Bolega. Are we not ashamed of ourselves? Can't I be right to say that to a certain extent the intellectuals and the politicians have disappointed the younger generation of this country? Or let me qualify it, some intellectuals, some politicians, some academicians have, and of course I'm right.
Well,
Ofri, Pamale Eba, Ofri Pageba, Ofri Lububa, Ofraflauba. And yet, was it the inauguration? Come on, F. But as politicians, as intellectuals, my many country no me. And they have nine parliament. But you know the situation now, and yes, I say that we could have done better.
Nana, so going forward, these are things that have happened, and I say, free 24 years in here, any train, any Numa, any manufacturing industries, my youth, Juma, Jane, BBI, Kra. These are issues I want boss watch, and then I hear so in a new president, MPP at 16 years, NDC at 16, Onona Oba Babeye. The new president or Sabetoso 4 years. What will you expect? And Yama Ben also taking as a matter of urgency in his first 120 days.
I don't even think I need to comment about this. I've been saying the music for 24 years. Where do I have to comment about it? What the kind of crack? Yeah, sorry. That's you. Kualumbu. You just got $12 million. Yeah, there will be so on about Pualu
Nana Daniel Hoka Crabby Mame, say Ahumano, said the Timu Ghana.
Pualungu, you see a $12 million. Amobi. Pualungu $12 million in the PIE. Atosa Braha. Tomato swimming Yajuma, Jenny Numa. You say Yajuma. Obama, I said an interview. I did some interview. Look, Mama Sanamobi, when the MPP started on the National Cathedral, I said, Debbie, this is a misplaced priority. I couldn't forget and force it as a National Cathedral. What was the cathedral? I echo Romano. Catcher, I said, may be an another Danko Kufado and a party MPP for. The percent division Yamian Munyam. Now go from Minisika and find a cathedral. Mekayano, Baba Betty Maternity Matem. Baba, Nyansa, the kind. President the crowd, maybe no Casa say, Ibn Dato, okay, Tobias and Day, okay, Sambolas and Nasa, okay,
aye, Sambolas and Tobias.
But do you think it was fair? Because the concerns we raised were very legitimate. The concern I raised was very legitimate. Now look. So what the person we are saying Amian Munyama. In fact, mine sika. Some running a dialysis machines, you know, Nienya. Namija, oh, the mine sika by cathedral. Dialysis machine, Yenya. Sunani Ebiniho. Kumasi, Baby Breniho. Bosso Ebiniho, Tachima Ebiniho. And this Kana would be a cathedral. Fact, no more dialysis machine. Into Obama, Sameka, Sasam, away at him, did ye.
Enya timni na wadwenche
Eso ka sopani a cathedral no be sia wie mo ma si cathedral na wie
as say mom dey aye fish pond.
No, I mean we need to be sure sometimes both MPP and NDC, you know, and never the Brahmin say, I'm fed up. Because one who can legitimately say, we, Yanni say, yeah, Bayan, there is young man, you're supposed to cry, young Moby. What I say, I can report Abamani and our mother. That means just a American. About and you know, now, can do baby. So I did neglected the ninth parliament, you know. I wish the president well, I wish Ghanaians well, but I am not comfortable. Obiamita can carry Rwanda's giant of somewhere in 1996 or 98. And Africa, road networks, Ayapa, Morocco, Algeria, then we're talking of Rwanda. Like I said, 1998, where Timensima Yama in Africa, the road network, Rwanda. Kodoma Kofiba Dukrum. Nakosha Ghana, from Domahin Kru to Kofiba Dukrum, from Domahin Kru to go no Krum. Shakwan Ghana, Canada Faso. Then I enter Cote d'Ivoire. That one, come on. Kayasosiakwa. Domahin Kru, production or cash will production or Nkosio production or Domahin Kru. Kayakwan. And everybody raising these pertinent issues. But NDC time have been better in Rezi. MPP times have been better in Rezi. Now MPP for cry they've been joking and I didn't about more post, you know. Whether you give me post or not give me post. Minyanko also on a so. But the issues I'm raising very pertinent. But the Brewa, a final engine of home film, and this Abani Bay. I'm advising them. Say, yeah, the Bibian has Abani, yet to Quanqua Bruchery. And you be or my private company. And that stores are done here over of grow from the American. And I say, oh, Sinane, oh, Kumase, oh, Kanai, oh, hey, but Simeon check. And some are paying about 200,000 Ghana cedis as goodwill. And so see diamond, no match. I didn't think a crow from market, you know, and get people buy, you know, won't put you up consortium. Let's come for the Brew Kumase. Samonia market, no, Namonia, Namon Famahani, Money Bank Binet. Na more employer, man for the Penya Jumane. No, the African politician and pressure. The African politician procurement.
Nana procurement too.
Procurement say.
Na one yanisa, o de come private na. Say unya procurement kickback in it and you may be ni. And you know
Are we being fair to ourselves? Are we being fair to ourselves? Some African politicians, some African intellectuals in the open say, go from market, you know, or go for Biaba, now my baby, now when you're in trouble, no young trouble, stores for the Subia, Ubenya Biaman home, Nayre, Nanamfo, Nasimba. Is that how to go on in the system? Some has a year money. Some has a money. Like I said, the best survivor of the fittest. But is that how to grow a country? Is that how to run a country? Is that how to grow a country? How to run a country? You don't have banks and then you put the break I am telling you, say, no mine no MPP, NDC, mine no dear, young and China. Mine no dear, men can say mine no.
Galamsey asem na okay.
Come and can't Galamsey, mining. Valid mining, proper mining.
Ah, okay.
Valid mining and proper mining. Why? Because let me take the Bron, Ashanti, the Bron is, you know. And the cocoa, Nudia, cocoa, and ye. Assassin in your boss, Priam assassin, I say.
Okay.
And two dear bra, and ye, Nudia cocoa, and ye. But generally, Ghana assassin, baby, to two from our Benes Cacoco. And so I to the main Commonwealth Commission, main regularization and crata, now may mining. Oh, be a bear. Because assassin a cocoa now on cocoa show, Cobol Quanta, Boaco, Osashi. Some quarter no assassin cocoa into me sumbio, assassin of Petri. So it's Chicago for the year, dear, and then the Commonwealth Commission. And President Paco in a crater in there, obey you. There's no basis for people to complain. Because you know what happened. You know what timber industry says a timber in a Kamanagu, our forestry, enyo from so
all right
ochi obi akọ tiba or the court now post for the court my lord in the so we have a very serious problem as a country, and the leadership and something in any from
and now inauguration you are still going through the problems and the challenges, and it means even as a seasoned politician and lawyer, no, we are disappointed in how the country has been governed, and really so. Meaning, say, among for mutio no ya adwen wo niam a wo kan be brave because niam a reality aye nyina aye hu. But as a mede ubesi wa hana as a politician na wo party a mo free aban mu a mo kono, meaning say dodo na behwe say bi aban a oban so no o mesu nti said the politics na o man no ankoya no no so asan timi ababiem ana o mbebo ama na koso no. There is an 11-member committee a mo party na set say yenhwehwe niam a defeat ne by meaning say odi besi wo ho ama me say President Mahama de e bedi ho komo bebre after say aso any in, but Professor Michael Quay committee no
11-member committee a ball de wa open ball to 7 per ball ulu suna ehu a na nse na me otote na mo afede ana so mo ba mo se bentaku no ne sa no mo no ne solanke no how they are playing very well no ma ama manage Tottenham pa, but after all when kase bako no walusu nti ama Tottenham mabama
na nakoti ukoti we yehye mo ana okwa ha MPP wom omoka asem bia na nya wa twere wa dwen ball na be kwa ankoya no wafi ho
yo basa ne man you dey wa na mo na edulo bia wo luma mani nyinti no na ko leganese no ne last time as ni na wo na wo bra na de na what now mama ayi Atletico Madrid about so last minute ya better na me ho now we build it ma wa building around Lamine Yamal it is enya Lamine Yamal dia enya hwe wa ko fa kunde tim kwa ni musi anu waje akire ho kunde wo so me tell say ya wani a a set committee you lisu a set committee but you know it's good they have set up this committee, but you know gadia ba kwa me penya kasa na me pe. And can I be a committee then come back and plan? Woman for woman should then play major role in the MPP no be anymore. Professor Ntiamwa. Professor Kim.
Meet you.
Yeah, Ntiamwa. I'm playing in MPP. So I don't say woman me pay. One for say the new faces never. But I examine the list. When was a no, a good because for me a new faces. But you know, Okafa to say Fanto. During my time as Deputy General Secretary, he chaired a lot of committees. Why is the first vice or second vice? Professor Quay has been a member of the disciplinary committee. So, because Professor the other names have been woman, which is a way we are more. Mr. Adam Kanapen. No,
lawyer, briefly, I'm said lawyer, Obriboahin, Echen Adreno, Sanso Namo, founding member, Nyahota Maklu saying Kebeya, Doctor, Muni the entire leadership, executives of the party, no more overhaul it, and yes, I said the old guns we bar. Party no be guminim said the old kick up when the yard.
And now the other men and the Sipa in your holiday. A national executive sitting na Benko. So what you say? Or Munko. No, me there are many no yagin.
Okay.
Go national executive no. Obaba Kojina. No Akotoaba. So come and be before no pen on never to man one. There's nothing wrong. But I'm talking about the committee.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the committee. No.
Matthias.
Committee need to not make a hand. When I was the deputy general secretary, no, 2020, about who be big problems were Asante Achim in a duo subin. You remember for me, 2020, so okay.
Independence, no, yeah.
At that time, F. Fanto, now a very leading member of the party in Ashanti region. And the Kawuti committee no earlier in the year. Me come Mr. Committee no kasa be mra so abeka say no. I am deputy general secretary for 2 terms. Open man gonna fine. Because I mean member no. Then penny the professor Yantia money names in the Mabaya woman, almost an ampe. Young will be a people, my monomonochian. So that they will make holistic appraisal. But 2020, we have formula problems in Asante Achimenya. A lot of cases happened, we went to court.
Okay.
He was done the first vice and has been a chairman of the Ashanti region before. Regional chairman, depends how we be now. We have a new nation now. Now you're starting a clean slate. But you know, maybe last one, the suggestion said, speaking for myself now. And I said, Camino, may man do the community produce. Dunsia no mantam bia baako. No the yamuana our party secretariat on why the secretary. Na ye do so. Me man do me obri bo ahema do no. Me nkasa bia mfa man do ba bi hwe look. MPP your person slate ni ye cleaning so. Na ye mono chia. Sadia ye pe nipa on be hwe how we lost. Ye pe him for ye pe nipa dunsia. Mantam bia ye nyi nipa baako. Mantam bia. No, you pay a more than a no, a secretary member. Not just a bear doing so. No, Baba, you don't know. People do so, Baba, and she had a Baba, and you bet charming. Continue, you bet charming. Someone come to the panel.
Okay.
Because we shall look for the one. We knew a bit of background. But it looks like we shall listen, but once a region being represented. But that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Even the formation of the committee, as so many regionally balanced. Region Pierre Dunsia, Yamaka home, Dunson, Neba Beshia, Neba Bay chairman, Neba you vice, Neba come, someone can make panel.
All right.
But yeah, so, well, they have done it. But yes, and I said, well, they've done it. It's a good step. But me power will be behind the end of the Pisana once a month. I say, Bunko do song, regions in a Dunsian. Regional chairman Bianca home. Why I hold the regional chairman position be I won't? Why all the cabinet position be I won't come home? Young Unipa Dunsian, into you mantam we are, as soon as you wait if you are, we mantam we are. Now, Dunsian region be equally represented. Does that mean any chairman if you have any putting in a background? That looks like answer region B. Nipanka home. Like Obama, how would you say?
What now? More representation. I think said they are listening to all these suggestions and recommendations. Nana, see, yes, sir, man, Panini, we are. You be doing common be brave. Be sure say Oban crying so. Obey many ababe shia. You didn't come. Aye.
I mean, many beyond in common.
Okay, be sure when you ba, when you be ankasa, na you know in common. Nana Obriboahe, formerly Abronye DC, lawyer, on the original Abronye, no, on the original Abronye. Aha, and he
originator of Abronye DC.
On the Dubai.
Yes.
We're proper Abronye, no.
Proper.
Offer. Yeah, share Kuakrata no diaka. Nampesa we share daily post no.
Yeah.
When your politics by page 8. Me who story be or how machine na say why more rem kakra. Yeah say yachi nipa bi. Defrauding by false pretense any other offenses. Na ye nim so ye oba na ye obema. Police force affair. Yeah, penny
agenda.
Police for not chin and prena, on betching back on your bema, on betching back on your bema. Over me who's the one story now.
I can't.
Nani deal in the
Christabel.
Hey,
I was what you should say. Obama is the weather. So I'm quite from the Christabel said Medri. You're from the Christabel suffer. Saquadia to four.
Dino
Saquadia to four.
Into the Christabel Saquadia. For so na said the worker no the gender no
but other ne physical appearance aye mimiti way
the last 3 arrests mo beche no first one ko na said the unsa ha na ye hwe ye hu say oyoba said the okan omo che no oyoba omo chi ni bi no oyoba offense ne ba ko so no osan ye oba nti no say no police for name who so Montreal say he was arrested and she was arrested.
And the Dino Crans so my who said
Christabel so yeah.
Sa kwa dear you can say ba ko bi tufuo no surname enti Christabel na be me hu se wo ye oba na ye bema enti Christabel ne hu anim se Obama ati hoyi o se frame Christabel ye yi kakra ada wo ye oba na ye bema ana ye de to oba ana sen so ho enti minim stages now no omuchi na bre bi ombechi no asesa.
Interestingly was it the Ghana News Agency had gathered that the police still needed the report of the accused to prosecute her.
Okay, it's the hair.
Now,
Tenefa baby no.
now what kind of story?
Check a grand so
But what kind of headline no?
Radiologists granted 500,000 Ghana cedis bail as police await report on gender.
Awaits report on gender. Nti e be ascertain so ye oba na ye bema.
Because uko kase we report mo no kwadu bo for uko kwota ke kase we use bema man obetimi akotwa damage se wasesa ne shebre because we your ba and aka kaso your ba so be kaso asesa ne shebre we bema nti ho je se police for no a ekobo kwadu kra no etombu ase na ye de
yesi yenkotwa no scan na bibia se famra
especially at this moment at this moment
identify as a tree
it's one way here asembeti me apa
wow say ya ntwintwan so kakra wo say ye ko the grounds Independence Square eba sisia na ye kohwe de e koto ho no dwumade no de ahyehya ase ano no na yenhwe se ye be ko ho sisia se Yakubu aye krado a yenko na yenkofa the events ekoso Independence Square ne what the program na nkasa no ne pompon so adu
obaransa na Yakubu ebe banse wa ready no lawyer asemo ankoma ntotwe no
right
ekoma obibia ye wo nipa bebra na nado boshe no kwhye no wantimi anje no wonim se na nado enema waye nyina babia nkofo de brono pa national cathedral na wantimi anje no hye Yakopon bo last kwa na you credit din ho fel amakofibo ase ende woni Yakopon tamo asemo a Christopher be great
right
over so dem apay ba for de ye event o no promise
enkwase aboshe se Bible no sa no kan
eni pa so ahwe ya so ahwe ho so a wo to dom mu ne se France ne basa wa hwe a promise bi abema no
ni tua den no
ye ba for de me
kabi
unis kakra promise
asofo ne kan ho wo se tugidie na mo uni bi ai but promise na mo
be dua seed na kam enne sacrifice bebre etwa na ado adapa obetu sere bia wantua Nyankopon be dan ne kan Nyankopon ne politician to afa
ona obi anko program assessor ote obi fi a wo han dan ontua ne rent 2 months oni ni fi rat program assessor I promise 1,000 bags of cement
ni fi am kasa kwa wo boa
ni fi akwa no promise
obi anko si dan edu baby na Bible kasa ye nkwase aboshe sa aboshe ne de nyame wo enti ye Christopher no se nya but one thing enra bra Parliament swearing in speaker ne ade no ye noting it down say honorable almost all of them even though say table not turning minority abe majority now no most of them are retaining seats especially honorable Kesilato forcing as was the minority leader now majority leader
interim
interim
there was a omunya leader for the proceedings omu wi ansa na bi omu believe NPP they likely so omu na be continue but wo hwe Kesilato it is very likely so benya ministerial appointment but because onim the order of the house anyhow he has led the party no obeye in the interim
now for the sake of continuity
there was
very likely
but the deputy so still was maintained as the deputy majority leader so yeah share interesting e so interesting me say me be share NPP for no more majority said there ombeye ene or more minority we say minority there you keep the government on its toes people like men who minority da anko position da te say ono abo kwadwo Ponkroma wa hu bi da on the obaye no na MPP were majority now no betina mu now NPP were minority. Yeah, share some of the MPs in it be how they will put the government in check.
Yeah,
said no. It will be interesting.
Very interesting, especially when Musu super majority, they will not even need you.
Beautiful super majority.
Or they will not require your
presence.
Your presence. We involvement in a lot of things. And to say, oh, yeah, they are also any young catty deal. Yenye and son of my.
Oh, yeah, Papa.
About the yeah, Papa.
And it was so county like you was so public.
But young share a humano society make us say yes, why a shinning and say Independence Square and yeah, but more set up no
atmosphere no
that be set up na
said o my
stand dogby on say
amount for brand strategies for
the way President Mahama leading the be our branding, especially whenever or day clock go see her for 24 hours innovation no and 2 days in your must set up Independence Square. I said this is the first time the whole place no much changing the setup remu as a pono nyina dem for some part. Yakubu hona na ono na echrem wako inauguration bebre. Yakubu was starting adwuma na say bebre na nkra mo JSS waya chepa
ono na so starting no sha
obi an offer the president there
Yakubu no offer ne
obi aye no
na hona kofo bai na Mills bai na Mahama aba na Nado aba nti ohu inauguration enhwe how how different today's event is. Yakubu otemenka twamfonyini kakra kire from Independence Square so grounds how different is today's atmosphere from the previous inauguration ceremonies awatimi attended? Yeah, me need no payo. Yakubu.
Hello.
Aha, yes, yeti Yakubu. Say ne yebebo odin dia o say o mani pa aduane ansa na wabo odin o mete wonka yanko aha ma ye twamfonyini ye hu ba bia ugina ne hawa atmosphere ho abo ma papa mo hwe Angel TV a enya asem keto Yakubu menti o
Adom piemu ewa ha ne je say enye faja kra o hwe main stand mu public stand je kokko footballer anti minim say ezotemenka alright nti obepiemu ewo iya ne che say minim say motemenka ne che say aha de dompem na nipa na akoso abo dompem ewo ha enye fadi agro na sana mi dikanka no be for a crowd no chance say amoba na o hwe sa isi no etia ne che say inferior na no ID pa inside ho na nkasa no ye wonkrofo amutimi eko inside and afi nso so security no say security na ano edi papa free ridge runabout edi babe piemu ewo bia yesi national cathedral no edi former babe piemu ewo NS bradianko na yehwe mi sem MPC bebre na eguso babe piemu ha every ridge runabout edi babe piemu ha babe si mame ne okay coming NS
esa nipa wo ho say no network problems and jame kakra enti yebenya abotre na yasan ene yakubu edin komo wo hwe eye atmosphere ne dia wotwa kakra de ache ofa wo hwe eho aboma
na ho so ayefe pa I very colorful said na wo kanwa setup no bibia koskama kama adane aha and ewiase nyina obasa afi we say inauguration no entese previous one no na say adedada no a esesa kakra be na tension so a afi de no enya no ebekonimu because of history aba wa afi abato mo no like omampania abe president ya to abetia no wako wasan ba ya san akofo ba na afi wode edom kese ba parliamentarians odo mo ba wabenya 2/3 of ni nyina kan obi enti wiase ehwe pa enti say ayefa na di say yefe
21 heads of states ena eba.
Listen to that.
21 and 4 vice president you de ka ho kra na just 25
in free African continent
beyond
outside
Africa,
yes.
beyond yeah
Enti
25 yeah
super na obade ba ko a na ya dwen tanko so no say yet inauguration na say especially new president and all ba part of friend e ba ya he ne say fine onunti and war friend ko for say mubeja me abra me ba be so no
right
ebinum so ba because of nya wo kunti oh yeah what do you call
say you know
yeah ebi so betimi aba so okedi wo kwani nti yankwa na wono so yanko jane
kwan
madam for no
sir
ya tran fie ngotwe na Obama yeso Obama Obama free harmo enti Obama
oye party
oye party
let's say nya kwadwo na wo be to aso no kwa
enya nipa no ba
okay
obi so aba because of madam for no Obama
ono so beto ne sa frɛ obi sɛ ye
jame kwa yo to se bra behwe me ne be farewell no nyefe
now our fans some of them cry if there are few cry ono so ne inauguration ni investiture no some of them were there
yeah
enti oba no ofra ye ma ye beja o konso a wasafra
enti eno omo a ebe buama farewell no aye adwuma no enche bia womu so be am what me ato nsa frɛ minim am yet to find that say womu a 21 of the 21 eba no obi a wonye president a woye ex president because me say Obasanjo Otaba enso ye former president
good like Jonathan
so one so what haba and president be kwa bia ro from entina na don so be kon wo kena bi womu a assistant president no womu so be kwa betimi afran so me ko te bia menu afrifie dan so be jame
kwan
entina amba numbers no
echo high
na ni nyina nso ye transition team na adwuma mo enti ye fa no na
ye fe ye adwuma eno baba ko so no say nya Ghana aye so aye wiase fe
aba no
ai
yes
aye wiase fe pa me ye project bi na
okay
me mo sa embassy ni dini me mo sa ifo ni dini na ba bia me ye project no o manya job bia me ye ho adwuma
okay
na foreign bi project na foreigners na sponsors ha project no
right
ya me ye ho adwuma Ghana for na amam sa project no ba sa Ghana for no me ye sa project no wo mo wo foreign donors bi
okay
e hwe wo mo ye to aba no wie ya pa no mkum mo mem mfiri Ghana ha
no musro
ai
sabansisa
yo no mu nyina akọ mu nyina nka no ma ye wie ya pa no a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia e ka se akonsidie no ehwa no mo frɛ enkwafun safi wo mo samba ebi beduru ansa na inauguration eba
they have believed in our system right
ama
good for Ghana the growth of
democracy transitional basa no a ya na omo hwe subanya oman no bekum
No, my be an it mean near my way. Debbie. Yeah, Mujan near my baby. Go for
Ente aban se no aye boko sa no na anigi abantu bo se people from the diaspora and diplomatic corps ne wenum na bo se hawkeka na security investment ema investment and so eba o man mkofo eba obo anu de sika kote.
Absolutely. And the other better say omunya Yakubu biemu a na ye nko ho no na say omu
ba oba pictures Yakubu de ma ye hu yi ade ba ko anka nka me nim se obi adwen akoko ase center on the say bro for the incoming president president obeswe in na ofaminim senka yes president so my picture be a entrance no senka incoming outgoing and minim how nkai will look instead of say president elect and vice president
say we know your terms constitutional terms so okoye incoming na wanka
no like you can branding and the way and all of that
they want to observe any money be any omope no mode
okay
yes you have to refer to him as the president elect enti e hono ukotro incoming na wa ade
no me patch say the two just the two
the two of them
me say how nka ebe look say
incoming
no nya incoming elect and the president are all make up pictures and footages are what grounds
okay
projecting the two of them I don't know but
not necessarily the constitutional
the fact no not for branding purposes that's
and a private person be a bit me akwa no why branding
but in most cases na the news no one kasa
the urban
he is making the news
but I don't think say grounds ho kra no say enye say bia president are all ko enti obebe bi ana oye mandatory to be there me nyini say activity bia ho ha nana do be ye ne say no me patch say ehia so wo ho but enya me fa say baton we kuta say baton mini o it's not like that the eye is on
the front
so
president elect
the sakra wa bay Mr. narratives be an sign will be cry. One fight what then some union the besumu and then what then some besumu.
Another the back no friend to my
and no superstitious considerations be a man for
and now JDM or Beshata de Bay
white.
Fugu na se fugu na se
mesha obeshe obobo Jarabia white
Abadano na the 3-in-1
3-in-1 ayi desa ayi mudie ni bi no
one se fugu
but mo say fugu one se fugu
we fugu nya
because I me who say
artwork bi a say
say ya gbonwura na say mo be land ni crew hin no
go check ni bia
na tare na o mo share na send message bi ma me say war atabi and run almost said that say akontade
na mosquito mu die ni bi
o say wo fugu ni bi o he kire say maye krado for adwuma no and I wo atade ni bi o ha say o sha say o ba party we I'm ready for party agbada no so I say gentleman
but way ata no I was say predicting peace I was say predicting oneness I was say predicted but war dear war had it no as in the April no
the readiness of the job how ready he is
to fight for Ghana
not fighting anybody as but for the task ahead of him so the damn money expectations me budget maje me be so me metimi aye
but still of a media me did say no be to say the whole three pieces
white me sure the ne dey we was so yes say yenya yen reporter dim sa wa homa no so sabri Oshima na say Yakubu.
Ni pa de fe Oshimu no.
Na say make say Yakubu na Oshim.
Ase say Oshimu na wo so.
Oshim ya pro. Oshim otemenka. Hello Oshim. Triumph nyini kakra. So baby awugina ewo Independence Square so wo network dey ma yenhu de ekoso sesia
yo minua me de wase bebre me network dey ye pa baby me gina sesia Independence Square na Independence Square no ye wo ne back eko insuo no ano pepepe no eho na ye dwi o ma dwi hon nyina ma cast the whole ye nyina say ye was 16 regions for now. All the regions in nyina be pack mu cars ewo ahanom na obi apake ne cars wo ahanom a na mo se dwumadie no enhya ase ni nti no oba ogu timu se omo di dokoro omo di fu omo num koko na ensemble na wa omo so omo di asa e di agyina mu so e di asa ewa ha na oba ahanom a so amazing to the extent that there are so many people make I say the half of Ghanaians and abepiem Independence Square has a CA. Now, baby, I'm just a CA, you know. Uban Moa, and to the sense that, and now I call the Tuesday, Tuesday, Naka working days. Now, working days, you know, I am going to say a holiday and you mark the whole Ghana. The feeling now, and this is for, you are John Dramani Mahama, and you didn't know AC, you know. What you say, is so amazing. Ewa, Nanipan Bebre, and you know, Monia and Kanta. Say, see, me idea. No, I brothers do one. No person will be so woman. Baby, you free. Anybody will do your time. I move see you. Anytime we do Hanum. Where I angel? I 102.9. Mina, your person.
I would like to speak English.
All right, speak English. What is your name and where are you coming from?
I'm Sumale Inusa, coming from Tamale.
Okay.
Yes. We are just coming for the inauguration.
Okay.
Yeah. To swear in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, that's why we are here.
Tamale, which part? And just tell me your feelings.
Yes, Tamale South.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel now?
I feel great. So excited. Because when you come to the place, when you come and see the population over here, it's overwhelming.
Okay.
So we feel excited. Yes.
All right. Minya, way at the Tamale South, and you know Bakatal. Minya Babua, Mammy, who are live, Joe TV. Your person, Tambana Dura.
A family, Jambedua 7.
How's a feeling you upon?
I feel wrong.
I'm moving to a time.
It will 7.
Okay. Okay. I mean, your papa and Penfoil and Casa Angel 102.9. Minya, Papa, opening.
Mefrika Swa.
Casa no upon. I say, you for this was a more
Hey, yeah, we do high, Papa. You need cheap, Papa. You need problem. I need you.
okay.
Did you know,
All right. All right. Minya said, and man, as you call Mamini and Mabia. Omuna echa eye entuma pepe any type pepe omuna e wa amame no eju no angel TV live yaba cho ufere na feeling no say
Africa na Haruna Idrisu ladies okay any by interested there
it is feeling it say
oh you feeling normal bibi I come Everything is moving on very well. We thank the Almighty Allah for the massive vote Ghanaians have shown the NDC. We say a big thank you to everybody, and especially our very own MP, Haruna Idrisu. We say good morning, and to everybody here. God richly bless.
Mama, what's your name?
Oh, me can say Yankupong. Obi abara asinjo nyam sanfe nyina nkona asinjo mu ena ye pay about person jo mama ejubo no shama nyina entime mbaso na e ma na honde
ama so what you nyina be ndey
oh so eni pa be ye bombe wa nye nyina so ati ase etu do be nyina ye nya so because ya ka say ye jiridi so ati ase dey chia Haruna Idrisu ye chia de papa no ni yakunyo bio.
All right, you couldn't be where you Haruna ladies or free, Tamale. Tamale. What you free? pushiga eye pushiga na pushiga boko boko na to kwa no wo
sese jomo ba ndia ntokwa ndia amba bi ese ne NDP for na wana amode eyere ama ntokwa na aba wi ndisi ba ndia
wo se NDP parliament to kwa yere
ba he
so yes so
amwa ese yana amode yetiribum amode yetiribum
omudi mutiribum adamu ya twins
o ze asembi wo ko ka kiriwi se o me ya mema ohine na oso ohine no ni pozo ho ese ho okasa wo ope ho ohine dia ide be ma no egese wo de boko hine pari yam fam ma no nti ano wanse na man to kwa ba nti indisi ba no dia sa bi ni ja wo man ni
ese ho no ahin na koye politics
koye politics na ma ho no ndo no nti jo ho ma dia ebejo nti the Jawbia say, Johan by the Obia water. The Yaboko, Liam Policy.
Okay, Yanyaboko, Minia, and Ready to Nipa Pepe, Mukasa Ewa. People probably so action, but there was a angel Quadia, also Babasa or Bacasabi. I'm about trying to feel you say.
Oh, fool. Yes, Morty. A higher butterfly. Biane, Kitty, Jane, no good you. Link Babone, Copa, BNA, no go favor. Shon, manager North, manager Kubase, manager Tamale, manager Tamba. Kaka koko me fe na na ba ko se bi e ko ba je bi e no ko fe mo ko okay
all right we yeah papa no onu so aka enka kasa angel 102.9 they were live mami to say we dani feeling no say amanfo etie mi a hanom aye beja we ngamba bi po e na wo jo nan asi so high and opa so NDC colors in the ni nyina ajiba bia na de omu nyina e kan say Mahama abeye bi na osan abeye ne to aso ne samunti ye ni mbali fo bebre e na twehye wa me ma me kase bu wa me ne kasa angel TV eso eni mami said you was swing it here said you karo opa which be karo osa
it me karo no because NDC aba power nti was say you also NPP for
to e dey na wo so sa
yeah was say about the name of smart for them room
I was what please what can ase na
ya was baby feeling much yankasa achi baby ya was from head to toe
okay Oshim yabada wase minim se djumedie no nye afi na awie kra e be hyase enti a lot of events series of them be happen ye ne obedi nkomo na yaje the updates at the Free Independence Square and yes we in the president elect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne come back no what me assign abeso afenanum LED Ghana Sabri yeba studio biem na efira ene sewakuto arapi up edi amaya aboafo kakra bia omo etajumadi na echi no munyi emfiri ho na afi yen toaso ye won ko twetwe mebri ho ha ohwim de em se medina echi a na Independence Square ho ai almost also omo wo so hin omo se ye wo so baby a na efira
oba yen chekura ye mo de tew na monya kwa adi nkomo bebre Venus roofing sheet na ye de mo manfo no wasidan sabre season a ye bo dance enti wasidan apaso oboso a na do ni atre Venus roofing sheet for na wo mo self flock modern self flock ho Euro tiles ho afi IDT step tiles ho omosan wo ceiling na wall joint ahoro bebre enti mo amowo baby at real estate adwuma mu ankrankra churches institutions and distributing agents building contractors mu nyamosempa na wo mu deal no so good so good na wo mu ewo kumasa score mampon ya wo ne trade based company din hwe ne mo frɛ 0501 549-796 and it's 0501 549-797. Farmer trust and social man for us to say more baby bite and near quadade and a come up a quadani from. And I wasn't so. Bia won't me enya what the papa piano, titrupa, na malariano, no aqua pelumi trust. A year to mat senkunya, and one must what neurodor and so hormone, and one more Transol 400 tablets, as the Sundro. Let us say, a bushani now will be idea won't be, but for nature farmers in the copepi. We had to do an offer farmer trust 0561 088 666 and 0561 088 663. Not to say, oh, Conono. Photo Africa and a free. Biana will pay 5-star photo studio. BBAB. And we do hold more. And yeah, what down a crabby yellow. We try, a big graduation studio here. And there, say, yeah, from all angles. Now, Photo Africa. And you come up, or move for never say. Now, Photo Africa, we a ultra modern photo studio. Yeah, photography, beer, say birthday shoot, family shoot, maternity shoot, children shoot, traditional kente shoot, and thems. Or domain pillar 2. K-Boat Junction, wah. Yeah, now after Photo Africa 0245 535 729 0245 535 729 and it's 0245 122 924 0245 122 924 Oko K-Boat Junction. I would do me pilatua. Ubo said yes. Where would a photo studio pa? Them day every me ha na sawa abemu. Institute of Expert Travel and Tour. Na wamo our work study and a visit and business. Yeah, more destinations ni Canada, USA, Australia, Schengen states, Germany, France, and the Kekahon. Wamusan was Serbia, UK, Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. Now, jobs no, be a health workers, nurses, midwives, pharmacists, caregivers, no, Namukosha, Penny4, Ewa Britannia, Tramoka, lab technicians, and after Mamuka Jumayeno, farmers, factory workers, warehouse, teacher for our PR, IT specialists, bankers, construction, security jobs, and general labor nina a boom. And yeah, for Nitre, Accra, Nungwa Junction, and now say Kumasi Sofo line. Accra did in 0539 858 766. 0539 858 766. And the Kumasi Diano so 0539 899 915. That's the Bibia Ayakama. So,
Ghana Communication Technology University, GCTU, Enna, Etonsa, Edefre, Ghana Nibia Pesa, Obeo, Okoweni, Momsi January 2025, admissions in Omashasiye. Now, one undergraduates and postgraduate students on Pesombe programs, Etesa, Ewohose, Sir. When you aggregate 36 and now a better, yes, a quanim chance, and what did you wasi any SSC any Kutawa, Ubet me about all level, ne A boys as Sabri, all level, ne A level, and Subet me Abba, and what she Ukuta GBCE, ABCE, Nina, mature students and so moje, and Ubet me Ako, now no Mako Casa office, one answer, we are mature students as applicants. Over matured students level no qualification was so year 25 years and above or above. Now you say what if you do num ekra and qualify we need 25 years. I want to be mature program Ghana Communication Technology University. Now, what's if one was say mo amukuta D7 monso mubetimi na mo apply bi and one no one so mo computer science, cyber security, software engineering, computer engineering, technological can say information telecommunication engineering, information technology, and information system, data science and analysis, electrical and electronics engineering, business administration, procurement and logistics. Any programs we bring and a one year. Now students bet me abesia about diploma, degree, benya masters and a PhD level. Crabit me akwa kudru. Mesra Ghana Communication Technology University say oko omo website na oko akɔhwehwɛ www.apply.gctu.edu.gh de wo ho bia pese ohunu bia obetimi ehunu ana obetimi akɔ school ho ankasa omo otesa no police training depot ho na uduru ha ubisa akwada akora obɛkyerɛw na wetimi ehunu efu sabre akosi 24th January na omo guso efa enti utena ho ma 24th ntwam a na se twam sado jesa afie beba enkita hodie bia nasa sembise bia obetimi afre 0501 579732 na ne wo makasa na obisa ombechechiro mu ma Kens luggage no so ho utu kwan a mebi nka ho fa niema gum emu do eso emu nya dududu udi tu kwan dese who's na wasie no na wokɔ no efenso kama edidi so ketwa adantamu ne kese kama de opa bia kales no so de gam obetimi anya bi ewo ba bia ye ton bibia say ye agent enti se opese oton bia nkrofo bi sapa wonso bra na bra na anyu ntum na so beje na ton bi ofre 0534 369 525 ewo beje so na wa beji bia ton wonso pese oton bia betimi afre number corona 0534 369 525 no wajima Kens premium unbreakable suitcase ni bi ne what day sorry na day ya oniema nyina ebekomo na aboa oba
ebesom sesia
but say wafa we have gone we kind of gone and we have gone back to the regime of John. They say emre bi na enipa bi se ya wie John ya wie John ya John as they say ya sa ko John
back to John
the tale of the
ya sa John
also na aduna
obe bridge gap they say was ya back
yankai amanfo say
particular say the politicians be brave
be ye naming ceremony
wo mama mema no to John
ya samba back to the Johns ya kai mo station omo efa jumedi doson pa Angel FM yankasa ya affiliate stations near sister stations especially Subampa FM 96.7 omo Kumase omo ne na eche jumedi no na fe across Ghana, you know, the 16 regions Angel and sister stations ahodo no mo fa live on Angel TV na yede jumedi no ebremo ye bedi enkomo kakra
ba ebi kra de ebi so bobo mu di no mu nyina faw
okay
program
okay
one more audiences ne say one more person mutie wontie o twetwa watum saa
me ko bi na manka bi de nye se wo be fa na ya mo odi de affiliate na fe sister stations no bono 107.5 fa show no sa so na Angel FM e Takra de 95.5 Test FM ewo Koforidua omonso afa show na no pay ye chia Koforidua fo nyina anti sabra make say inauguration e koso no omonso e monitor live Western 100.9 FM for Darling FM ewo Cape Coast 90.9 sa so na Opemu FM enso ewo Manso Antoa Krum omonso fa show no KFM ewo Techiman Cheers ewo Sunyane 100.5 ena Angel 92.3 nso Sunyane OFM ewo Boase Angel 96.9 wo Tamale Kaula omonso fa show no ye chairman opay ewo Tamale Aguna Kwantanso Voice 93.9 Republic FM won Koko ena Fresh FM so Kadi Obo FM ewo Asankragwa ena Rejoice enso 100 and 1.7 wo Mem Rabi 1 TV enso fa wo Kumase live ena Owas FM so fa Hammers Radio 106.5 wo go so ena Adia FM so Tomahin Crew ena Subampa 96.7 so fa live wo Kumase ena omo wa ma no ne de bebrebe ebi ho kra ye mam kwan mafa but ne de ye free mbotimi afa na amanfo follow what's going on e wo Ghana Independence Square na ye amanfo nim say na holiday na ye constitutional day enti enne no nka ordinarily some years na nkanya holiday but abaya holiday enti enne nye working day ye ya na pe adwuma ntine wa ha
na inauguration no crepse holiday nti
yes
and common unize about the inauguration
change of power in Kenya de ketwa sao ya fa na normal so many countries are bring soldier for ni UMP skippers e wo ho but here the no I simple obi am for credit here so omudi kinki wo program na
say be banra be abeda
exactly ye be enkomo security once man ye kan enka man bebre mu anka na obi ahye dem ato aduane bebre asie because say ye be change power na ye kwa ya e banso ya enti ana amanfo ani abre say ye lose power no but Ghana transition no ye smooth edi enti na we nyina AC any a whole lot of security issues ye be din komo ho transition no ye basisia okay ye nkona ye ni eno ho komo ye hwe sade ye de oman ebesi ye higher Angel 102.9 FM Angel TV. Medini Sadiq Adams still live on Angel. This is Angel in the morning. Na yanko sedie ediemano esi etie. Okay, Adib Sani Ewaha. Adib Ghana's most sought after security analyst. Enya Ghana nkwa baby bia na say o no security hon sensem and especially on a crucial day like this edi enti na ye hu de ye hu a obia feel comfortable on home ana adwuma mu a onsro de ekoso e Independence Square and de kra and ama de ekoso ho no so aye peaceful and most importantly de ebesi after today all that our security part no ye ne be din komo na Adib ya mawakwa abadeba Angel FM ye new studio ewo abeka flat top meaning say bibia boko
Sadiq.
Nice one.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I've been watching and I really admire you. Me read this CV, you know, for a long time and I make and I share enema was you and wakuma say in Kaut miss you enema when you say it me mao. So you for me down maybe.
Yes,
fantastic. But first of all, meaning so BRJ around the swearing in inauguration. The last one, na military for Parliament, a whole lot of issues went in. But before say Beba Nedi Enesono, the 8 years under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in terms of security, Sena Ubesi Amejano as a security analyst.
Me da say, the Edika Maminchamo production team, Minia Kojo. And the rest of our crew, no more the Amabo Ijuma.
Yeah, that's it.
And Mamin congratulate you for the good work you have done in consolidating your media space. You know, and my studio way there easy.
Thank you very much.
Me Google location. No, I thought it was a wrong location because meaning
the old place.
The old place.
Right.
But yeah, very.
They per se switch the new year into a new mode.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My idea.
Right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Mema outgoing President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo 6. Yes. Even though a lot of work went into safeguarding their buying, but I think now there was some challenges. Okay. Bullion van robberies, you know. Jamestown, Ashanti region, Honum, no.
Right.
Blakuma, and a whole lot of other places. Thankfully, we were able to contain it, but that is after Ibimu, you know, police officers and Then at the point now, there were other forms of robberies, or more attacking shops, you know, financial institutions, and Bimusu were attacked in transit or train a car, then they stop you in traffic. They said the SC or Tesano traffic lights, you know. Right. Any Boomerang nightclub, no cap price. Now or foreign ampo. And to a large extent, installation of CCTV camera. Any other security infrastructure throughout the length and breadth of the country, I think to some extent has helped in reducing the spate of crime in Ghana. My PhD thesis, as a matter of fact, in CCTV as a crime prevention, you know, indeed. Obi who's CCTV camera, the person would be disincentivized from committing a crime. And I think by and large, ebimu are discouraged. Entina will be installing CCTV or betro CCTV in operation here. CCTV and not just about you do I catch you. It is in preventing the person from even perpetrating the crime in the first place. So CCTV installations, Kaswa was made a police region.
Okay.
And remarkable improvements within the police setup. Thankfully, IGP Dampari also has been up to the task, even though more internal management issues, but by and large, IGP Dampari has been able to position the police service in a very encouraging, your friends, and encouraging
environment,
so to speak.
Right.
But still, your deficits so far as policing is concerned.
Okay.
In Ghana, we police civilian ratio no, average 1 officer to about 900 citizens.
Okay.
But in urban environments, in some cases, bet me 1 officer to over 2,000 citizens. But according to UN standards, the appropriate ratio should be 1 officer to at most 500 citizens. So still, there was a deficit. No.
Okay.
Even though a lot of recruitment, but I don't think that has been enough to make us meet international criteria. No.
Right.
Now there were issues within the intelligence agencies, the mode of recruitment, and also has brought us a lot of disrepute, especially in the wake of Ayawaso West Wagon incident. And one of the reasons outgoing president 6 out of 10. The culture of impunity.
Okay.
Even after Ayawaso West Wagon, commission of inquiry that was televised. Unfortunately, our reports, and our recommendations, haven't been implemented. And the same criminals are orchestrators have rather been, promoted. Different other situations in which so-called security officers misconducted without any, punishment. Then last election, people died. No, we are Ghana for.
Right.
Unfortunately, and interestingly, one of the persons who was killed.
Okay.
Unfortunately, to date, not a single person has been held to account. And no encouraged. It gave some of these officers a sense of invincibility. Nobody would hold me to account.
Right.
And also has resulted in many cases in which rights of the people have been trampled upon. Unfortunately, Obia and Yeshe. So issues not there. In as much as some work has also been done in that regard, and one of the commendable things are outgoing president the improvement in the housing of especially our police force. It's still not enough. The last time police nibi oka assembly chairman see sometimes when he lies in his accommodation and wakes up at 2 a.m. or beside is it really worth putting my life on the line for Ghana, because we share the squalid conditions in which a lot of these officers live, and nothing to write home about. Right. So I think still in improving accommodation and of course equipment for police force especially.
Right. So Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, in terms of security, Adib say or rating 6 out of 10. Now, what should the percentage and the election, the results are 10 out now. Now, the old man is 6 out of 10. Then we can essentially say, the man and lose MPP lose election. Security issues and yet a major contributor. Okay, 6 out of 10 a pass mark in a way. And Tibet me actually election results by any say security concerns a man for Moko to Abano or man for security who and a toy make a major contributor.
To some extent, now a contributor because obviously Ghanaians omupe government are obe prioritizing almost safety.
Okay.
However, you share security in some narrow sense, you know. It is safe to say say not a major contributor, but if you broaden it, security ni nuances said also. Beyond just feeling safe from armed robbers. Security so is about the people having access to basic necessities of life.
Right.
To say a journey, to say nsu bibia omo beda, to say the respect for omo rights any adi and no na human security. Okay, and Osha, the issue of youth unemployment especially security matter because ebimu omu wia as a means of survival.
Right.
Okay, because a juma ni ho ebimu omu kunta kwati say de ekoso wobokunu. Debia I've always indicated say your approach no emboa because it is ad hoc, it is interim, it is not sustainable. Debia you see the deployment of police and military personnel, but they are failing to address the underlying issues, the deep-seated socioeconomic and geopolitical deficits. You know, people feel their rights have been violated. People feel say nobody cares about them. So yes, it gives rise to some elements of social misfit. You know, and to me causes so security in its broader sense, I must say, I contributed.
But yes, in a narrow sense, the Rebecca say be a contributor, but unemployment and then definitely a contributor.
Election results, you know. It has exposed a certain psychology about Ghana for. Ubekai some time ago, now you see Ghanaians are not angry enough. Not knowing they are angry.
Omunkasa.
You see, so for anyone to think, say, Obetumia winning election on cheap slogans without a message, and thinking, say, the people are gullible, then you have to rethink. During the election period, me were north. And believe it or not, on election day, Ibimu came with soap, any Maggie for distribution, for votes. Yes, candidates. Any Sika.
Right.
Thinking that the people are going to take the money and vote for them. So, me call on a number of networks. Me see, on mobile, we are moving to me but vote with your conscience. And I think largely, no na Ghanaians be brave. Yeah. So for the fact that Omun Kasa doesn't necessarily mean they are happy with what is going on. Exactly. I think Sir Victory a very decisive and it's a message, not just to MPP, to even NTC, to all politicians that look, you don't take the people for granted.
Right.
You don't think that are gullible, they don't know what is going on. A woman who has never been to class 1 or analyzing political issues. Exactly.
Right.
You think you can come out and confuse the people with figures? The real state of economy, and what you feel in your pocket. And this is something I've said over and over again. Me see, the mistakes are NDC prior to 2016 election. MPP almost upgrading Pro Max to another level. The culture of impunity, arrogance, the insults, because in some cases, now there was this slogan that came out, and they addressed it by actually insulting Ghanaians. Omu spokesperson sometimes at Sema Omu Kano. I think Ghanaians felt the posture, and I'm hoping, say, NDC, from what has happened, and would learn more to take the people seriously.
Right.
I was even telling them, say, would you just pick trotro, would you jive to not fat trotro, this guys or stuff, and listen to what the people are saying.
Right.
For taxi, Uber, any ID, and listen to what the people are saying. But you see, at a point when you're sikapa, your friends are all rich, so your interaction circle, they are okay,
they're ordinary people, they feeling.
Exactly.
Right.
So there was a complete loss of touch with the people, and unfortunately, they were in some fantasy, of winning. It is possible. It is possible.
It is not possible.
It's obviously not possible.
Right. So this is clearly Ghanaians angry, but they don't express it in a way our person will be expressing the anger. Another critical issue with security, the sub-region, meaning Burkina Faso, as you say, means Ivory Coast, also Ete, Ejaso Kakra, Togo, Niger. But surprisingly, meaning it's got to do with the Francophone and Anglophone. Ghana enyasa threat ni bi under Nana Doniyete Wagner Group or Korepoto Burkina Faso president of my international community and all that. Yenyasa terrorist attacks and issues of terrorism. No, yeah, BB rights as a country.
Well, the issue of terrorism, any efforts in countering it, my research will be in that regard, and yes, surprising say or more attack here, but interest say or more nisa capability, any capacity to attack us. There were a lot of reports in that regard, and some few years ago. Na French NGO be a pro mediation or more reports be recently Clyde Gill and a Dutch NGO almost research be that tells the same story. The fact that terrorist groups way use Ghana as a major logistics hub. And almost see you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
I see.
And use. In fact, in some cases, according to reports, almost families are actually in Ghana. Terrorist elements.
The families of the
terrorists, yes, for safe, for safety. So, and Ebimusu use Ghana as a withdrawal point. So almost stage attacks in Ivory Coast, in Burkina Faso, in Togo, they safely withdraw into Ghana, regroup, restock, rearm, and go back to attack again.
So they don't need to attack Ghana.
They be because omo attack a bit disruptive omo operations,
Right.
So interest there are no terrorist elements in Ghana. In fact, on several occasions, arrestee ebimu with ties to militants are at the Boni Ewo, Mali. So surely a matter of grave concern for those of us within SARS space, But I think all in all, for example, Burkina Faso, terrorist groups have taken over 60% of the landmass of Burkina Faso. How it started in Ivory Coast, the Grand Bassam, 2016, 2015-2016, Togo, northern part of the country, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, all across us, but and yet necessarily, jumanti na omwan attack here. So what I say, I'm not discounting the fact that to some extent, boy Juma,
right?
See something which was abysmal and yet sustainable. It was disorganized. You don't know the left from the right, because Ubisa Ghanaians, what do you have to see to say Omuni? So some research we went around to ask, and then before Ubeka, ebi musi me hu obi a o apology to say Osama bin Laden.
Yes, so a terrorist.
So what I say. So I think that education no ankoyi.
Okay.
And now I feel that John Dramani Mahama, president elect, or no, would put the right mechanisms in place to ensure our initiatives way and efforts in countering terrorism would be apt.
Okay. Coming to president-elect Washa Sewohono, the security appointment, at least here who won from Nipa or person or Moye Juma and how he has constituted them. Meaning, so I observe BB or as a security analyst. Where is he intending to go with security?
President-elect John Mahama, from what I know, respects experience or respects intellect.
Okay.
And or respected track records.
Okay.
Because Usha, the caliber of people he has put on sa interim security coordinating team, no.
Right.
Obi to say Honorable Prosper Bani, no, your former interior minister. As a matter of fact, now no the security committee chairman of NDC going into Abatuano.
Right.
Obi to say Colonel Devulati, former national security coordinator with vast experience to the extent said time NDC Nipawa you came for him.
Right.
Now a consultant Maomo. Also not no the commander of 64 Infantry Regiment under former President Rawlins. Were Ghana power even when they were not in power. But surely this is a man that has vast industrial expertise. Obi to say General Idrisu. Onu na oye the former head of defense intelligence.
Okay.
You see, so Usha, the issue of countering terrorism, the issue of countering crimes, say robberies, any involves a lot of intelligence gathering. So with that expertise, no, and also General Blee, no, former chief of defense staff. Okay, the boys know him. He knows the boys. I mean, he can bring them to order and make sure that the right things are done because of the experience. No, what we said to people, there's no new name or not there or and he's one of those people. Young security analysts we look up to Kofi Boachi. And him there, at the time he was the Ashanti Regional Police Commander. In fact, before Oteke mantle, no, there was like a state of lawlessness, so to speak, in terms of robberies, assault, any at the Ashanti region. But this man came in and he was able to put a stop to it. Okay, so the list, I must say, it's a solid list.
We have the men list.
We have the men. We more the real men.
I see. I think the background to all these people from President Mahama security. But do you foresee say Obe maintain Dampare as IGP?
It will be very difficult to see because but you see. A lot of considerations go into it. I mean, beyond the competence bit, no.
Yeah.
Obi share the loyalty bit, the inclinations. I mean, obviously, a professional institution, but politics there would always be politics.
Right.
So, I mean, people just don't consider, are you competent? Loyalty, no, extremely critical. Okay.
Right.
So, me sure say, and if he fits into that. Narrative and a description, no. Maintain, no.
Okay. As a lay person, when I sit down to watch programs, it said the cost on swearing in. Yes, say, President be free to go 21 heads of states. As a security analyst, say, Omo Basa, what preparation? Because President be or feeling like Lord in a country. The way I the motorcade. nema security or no crowd ultimately too quiet. Are they allowed to bring in their security? What number and what preparation should they see before say Ombeba program be like this, especially when the number is that large, 21?
Yeah. My organizing events.
Okay.
And event to a whole new level altogether.
Okay.
And one share it would pose a major security and logistics nightmare. So Omu invite Omusa. The first question is who and who is coming. So
if the president, you know,
yes,
they will ask themselves.
Ghana, your protocol team, would ask, for example, President Tinubu team, who is coming out with the last person.
Okay.
So you know how many people are in SAR team to cater for them.
Okay.
All right. So before event, you should have an idea about the number of people you are receiving, because beyond presidents and our heads of states, your vice presidents, your envoys, okay, then your other institutions, diplomatic community, your Ghana, your UN, your different institutions are invite and all of these should be taken into consideration so far as arrangement is concerned. Anything as a day, you realize invitation it was hard to get.
Yeah.
Because inner perimeter. So you see, a open event will be able to miracle. Okay. However, access to inner perimeter would require invitation. But considering the number of guests it was very difficult to come by, and it's understandable. Okay?
Right.
But before Omupepa you would put together a robust protocol.
Okay.
Made up of different teams. Incoming team, any outgoing team.
Okay.
The teams of the various
heads
guests.
Okay. Guests
Okay. And Obia will role obe play, but it starts with the incoming and outgoing.
So Tinubu Eba and I say William Ruto Eba, he would want to coordinate with Ghana's security team on how they want to.
No, and yet no country how they want things to be done.
Okay.
I would let them know
what they should do.
Exactly. And what would, for example, you pick Tinubu from airport.
Okay.
Oh, you better go straight to the event, and now you better go hotel way.
Okay.
At this time, this time, everything is scheduled.
Okay.
So what I say.
Right.
So that is how their role coming. Then, Omoba kita etuo ana. Would they and to what extent can they get into the inner perimeter with etuo? You see, when Omoba bisa, because Mikai Kamala Harris or Ghana.
Okay.
I was at the event. Okay. Even the security officers it's not everybody who could hold a gun. And the Omokita Etuono, they were in the outer perimeter.
Yeah, in your country.
Yes.
But omo security arrangement.
Yes, omo there. Okay. Because before we call inside na secret service, omo be subject to metal detector checks, and the security officers were far from here. They omo kita Etuono, and me sure said before omo be arriving on those specific security officers are secret service or mobile background checks on all of them. I'm sure they would ask, who are the officers you are posting there? Give us the names, the ranks, any other, where checks on each and every
before
one. Before
they will allow them.
So you see, US omu a big, siblings.
Yeah.
Omu ba protocol but different from other
African countries.
So when would have to be considered. Now, transportation needs.
All right.
Hotel accommodation needs. Uber sweeping. Maybe President Tinubu advance team or Mubeba sweep the hotel room, make sure it is well protected before Uber arriving. Movement to the venue. Mudru venue, what and what after the event, some would just go straight to the airport so it's a cacophony of activities from the very inner perimeter to outer perimeter in this sense, and Bibia Nipatino, like within the confines of the popular stand.
Right.
Then there was the very external perimeter, the environment around the Independence Square, and perhaps beyond. Because Uko Enea, apart from vicinity of Independence Square, you would have people sitting even somewhere close to Osu in pockets. So security would have to take care of all of that place. And a clear case in point. And yes, security, it comes up for discussion. Donald Trump, the rally, Secret Service, they protected the very inner, and the outer they left it in the hands of local police. Unfortunately, not coordination ni hosa. So even though civilians who say Papano was climbing with a rifle, they informed the police, but the police also delayed in reporting to Secret Service. So it brings to bear the issue of inter-security agency collaboration. A soldier for, a police for, customs for, fire, prisons, and all of these comes together to ensure say and almost see drone to me use drone because after drones to me army drone. You can put a grenade on a drone. Connecting rifle drone. So to avoid that risk, or more one drone, so that will be able to me hockey. Drone, right? And now police drone. But for people to fly drones around,
possible. Enti mampenyi de o take president owo obia so na ompese Kenya and South Africa mampenyi beba Ghana no benya problem ha. So security will have to be very tight, said the Adibe Kano. But finally, another one important question. Security amount for free obukrum beda or Independence Square na se obi bia and I don't know there watimi akoda ho de akoshe baby. What are the implications and a message bena is sending so beyond security sending partime free ni crew more better Independence Square air train swearing in and just a formal location. What are the implications? Okay,
so the thing is me wo ebimu omuya security officers wo honum and they've been there for the past few days. And they've been sleeping there and there can't be absolute security. So what I suspect is to get as many operatives as possible to be part of the spectators. Keep an eye on the ecoso. Ebimu Omube was through with binoculars. I mean keeping eyes on the actions of individuals and I think yes,
but finally, yenim say you are or occupy any national position in security or something of that sort. Maybe a president by what and now we are occupied. Adi baby our intelligence unit way and I say meaning so we open for any such because everybody trusts your analysis and judgment on security issues.
Oh well, media me are open. I mean, once I'm called to serve, I would serve without blinking an eye.
Right.
In the past, to me, I have ears and my eyes is everywhere. Me were all across the country who feed me information.
Right.
Sometimes me to me intelligence be
maybe a national security for
yes, exactly. Several locations, several locations, and I don't hesitate in sharing it with them. I mean, in some cases, drone movements, even drone movements. I'm able to get intel on it. Then I'll tell national security for. So media, I've always been open. And on my opinion, John Dramani Mahama, if he feels that my services would be useful to the government, I mean, I'm very much open.
Security crowd said China and Asia for no say found say be your my juma now kasa onya be conscriptive because you be boy home by now say but now we knowledge in the am so be anti
and Sadiq, interestingly foreigners like Americans, British, Canadians, they come to us for help. So sometimes I feel that your Ghanaian counterparts, are not making use of us as
security,
like the way they should. I mean, so I win him because of politics, just because we are criticized or once, but then they attach emotions to it, and they wouldn't want to work
but
with
security
you.
without emotion,
and yet emotional adi.
Right.
It is a professional thing that has to be implemented professionally. I mean, as simple as that.
Right. Adib, and so still a candidate, PhD candidate, Cape Town University, criminology.
Criminology.
PhD in criminology. Yes, I know half. Thank you very much, very interesting conversation. And it will be any so any Pamampenny for more bano. We how say normal, but a whole lot go into it. Meaning say going forward. When the president is finally sworn in, a lot of issues, especially with security. Thank you very much. Enti Adib Sani any din komono or security analyst Ghana's most sought after security analyst on issues a bit me abo mine obani any din komono. Yabesan ko Independence Square na yene panel members so din komo ne swearing in nti adwuma no dɔso pa yebepa be hwɛ ni nyina. This is Angel 102.9 live on Angel TV, live on several radio stations across Ghana and beyond. And more share Angel in the morning. The Bible kind messages in a cradia mamona fe ya sign and so any more din komo ewo yen telephone lines in so na share expectations of President elect in his speech. And dear Ghana for episode Moti Edifree. Live on Angel 102.9 FM, live on Angel TV. This is Angel in the morning, and a constitutional day. And then so the swearing in of President-elect it's Jumediane Koso Independence Square. So as and when they need be a Bekoni Akwako for the update at their bro. But right about time, you bet not say na yeni and panel members and Edin Komo ewo or my sister and I say abaya yes say honi na you be chichimudia nanka CPPU na near be na dane kakraba still. Haji said near man says CPP will bounce back better. CPP they've been bouncing back for God knows how. CPP will bounce back. And ABD and Komono. Now key issues on the table. Inauguration and after the second coming of John Dramani Mahama. 16 years for MPP, 16 years for NDC, and now no babe the tiebreaker. Said the air can say we are ye dear not just a Ghana ye be. And the second coming now ya share a the new appointment President Ameki into the office of the president, including the chief of staff and other key positions Wameki and Rana Joe. Any other issues are a table so president sa decision and application say and dismiss say the chief justice who say frivolous. All that and more on the show. This is Angel 102.9 FM. Angel in the morning. Again, me doing the Sadiq Adams sitting in for the morning show team. Now watching you know the Osha ye throwing in and a event ye day transition into ye corner freestyles kakra. Yeah, Beshan Komochichen say pretty shortly. Yes, now yeah, mention Komochichen say producers nature say BBI crowd say BBC our Independence Square so intermittently your best switch na yakwa kwaje e dey free ho baba your studio ne dey ladies first enti mesha say dey free Hajia Hamdat Ibrahim Hussein or leading member of the CPP and party no constitution me paper your MPP and your APC ne your CPP NDC for the grounds ho because one ko why na be the agent you have to be there until when me and baba any omedin komo ewo ahoma so Ajia yemo akwaba edeba the studios of Angel. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Right. Ajia we know say and the ekosunie ye change aban ama NDC's candidate our election attem President elect John Dramani Mahama ateki abanyano what are the expectations? Meaning, say, oh, shade you made no TB, and then our observe so far. And what are you looking up to from the president when the inaugural speech?
Well, the Edikano Aminchi with T for no Panama Gana for official and happy inauguration day because I inaugurate our president-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mefa Konyo Wisu Amano, congratulations.
Right.
And I wouldn't say Sisiana Ghana Ma represent at the highest in the person of Her Excellency the Vice President, Professor Nana Jima Opoku Ajima. Which means say we first female vice chancellor, first female this, first female this. Since the women of Ghana, and we are proud of her on behalf of the women of this country.
Right.
Say even though I'm a politician, but I belong to so many organizations, Owling Women's Group, and Nkekaye. Na eja. Even though you're a political party, but just see I know ba or be the vice president. Na also me expectations.
Right.
When me so bia be dia ban bia na say bia obeye obe o to ne ho say obeye president e wonyoma bebre a ogena so o ka say bia obeye si na your man panyin His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wa shebo bebre me expect to say bo a wa she Ghana for atu etia era crab no more party no because omo tituya mo o hwe analysis no pa Ghana for en me say nye say o mo atwa ma NDC but mo to against MPP that one is clear na say ono so no expectations ayeye wo ne hu no ma onye ade a ebeka say na ade na ba ne sa one thing na me pese me stre Ghana for say even though His Excellency say na anka be ma no honeymoon dem say honeymoon no anka say mun say honeymoon enye yi inte no one say obe start ejuma me expect say obeye wa promise so be nyoma bi ama ye ho aha
right
levy COVID tax enen kikaya ne nyina me feel say ni speech eye ene no obe hye sa bo hye no kina akashre Ghana for say wo asi odio and I can say
osi adeyo
nse me da gumbe ni ntia jani kakshi na tratra na sa minister so obe o kan so obe fa 60 no obedi so because when this one hwe ya na Ghana for aka say papa you kan just to get our attention to vote for him all
right
but anka me na me GDM manka no sa we bu say adinti na meka say anka meka say un say MPP mko 120 something meka say I'll have a lean government lean government nko anka bia mekutimi akono 80 and 90 but in the developed world and also na me ne menu akra beka en nya say bia minister dodo no na betimi amma what me aye we adwuma no the ministries organizations no a government you know we show mo ke na wo mo adia eseso mo ntimi nye adwuma no the technicals are there to support you
right
it's not necessary say be oba appoint 100 and something ministers because we someone say MPP for appoint 100 and ministers so mo dia ko ekosi say inti eno no we learn from our mistakes
okay
but me hope say ni appointment no or the nipa betimi aye adwuma no
right
aye en nipa obey adwuma no what promise 60 no e bia 30 na be free base in parliament
yes
en na yo asem no wo no because omo 182 into omo 60 no so nyina so ntimi free parliament that is where me expect to say president no be crossing the T's now dotting the I's very well. Na me ti say ebidumu ka say omo to say 100 days probation. One justify your inclusion in you. An arm of the view say money pant na fa kunche. Because if you are going to ube share the no critical nipa be brain ye juma no na aban no ba Baby, because of 60-hour promise, and 60 never turn up 4 years. And the problem club within your political party, where it's a free advice, free consultation, will be entry.
On your reshuffling more.
Reshuffling is very, very important. Because of reshuffling now, we call opposition.
Okay.
I'm telling you, because the partner 8 years. Everyone says because in your check or into a reshuffle, then people feel easy to say, they've not forgotten us.
Yeah.
Because 180 something MPC. Wouldn't mean because be offer 30 from a year. If within 1 year or now 1.5 to wouldn't mean reshuffle. So which means 100, they are just adding to the number or what? They say everybody should be utilized. But me feel say this is the time. Ebia nyankopon chere say legislature no concentrate on work. The legislative work very well to check the executive. Me and Kamina me wo your constitution no separate executive from
the legislature.
Na omuntimi nyom we or watchman ejuma no omuntimi nye ni. Be obi o hwa ya appointing a minister or parliament or person when you be say me ya one we president be position into a security no enya papa. Be say me legislature me MP me crop to abama me for 4 years. I have 4 years.
You represent
4 years me represent me constituency.
Right.
But I say we are hanging together no problem can me to me but I wished the new president well because I see true Droboni I be kawano say me per se CPP take it over by no I only pray say this government will be successful na omon be sing the song say oh anaye mbeka say oman jaye hwe ne why de betimi aye adwuma because aban bia oba Ghana from Kwame Nkrumah breso me ankasa me papa Kwame Nkrumah there is no president ana ebia even MPship obi ni ho a wanye bibi say amani constituents ana amani country
right
inti YCPP for there and also be encourage people to now omon ka to say bia waya ade wa ha ka say waye aha no wonya na waka baby obeka say we dey wanya hwe dey the CPP for yankasasa
okay so obiaye
me prelims ni
your prelims the most important are there me five free mo ye the reshuffling or say president na man no nye tentem no obia ntimi eme utilizing expertise ewo position and yes na uma ba ko tena 8 years ye tu no ha say won ti ase a be kwa ko hadwe ma me ko wura Same Crab so yeah former second vice chairman for the NPP mo aban ye na de finally Nkonkobo 12 noon there na ya ka say NPP and I say Nanado ye former ex-president of Ghana say now or share today's event, the inauguration. What are you expecting from the speech of the president? Then I say containing, especially at this point of our political dispensation.
That's it. Mention it here for you. And another do a former dada. Mrs. I was Sisi Ghana any president, and to say almost Mahama in. Right. Into your corner.
Okay.
Into your bed and nasi or baby. One baby by a baby. The better Ghana for us is almost two about MIA before and a baby.
Oyewa party president, he make us rating us. He said the Oko finally. Or ye Bibiano, I can say, oh, chairman, out of 10.
Oh, me rating out of 10 because it's difficult. One, a day I may use criteria, Ben, I may use. Oh, into no bad thing.
Okay.
So with me, until with time, you know.
Okay.
By Ghana for no Antwerp my into the Hadia kind of idea. Me fosso. Say, we share results now. It will say MPP 4 no MP Uncle Twabano. Into na Akobad Sano. Into Yajatum, Ebeko near reorganize ye near Asaba. In about 4 years no. MCB
2028. Yeah. But I know you're too far from the inauguration. Man, who is a man starting a mobile what you will do to come back a conversation I have but now me person Michelle when say 2001 now President Kufuor's speech near centered around zero tolerance for corruption, the tagline, and people should return home for investment and all that. President Mills by unity, cohesion, culture, and the promotion of exports and all that. In his inaugural speech, President Mahama can be about unity mostly in 2013. Yahu speeches no nanado de ne by said the key one here, citizens, no spectators, any all that. Minim what you predict will be contained in President JDM ne inaugural speech.
Minim momba ushe ni campaign. Some more kaina. As a obeshe industrialization kakra. Say obet me akam ya boom. Na say economy nso we to me ama economy na expand kakra wo hwe kra pa wo se guzitando say position e dey amano no to say bibi wo na dwum so obey expand economy
e ya no kwa be microphone kakra
aye guzitando so be expand economy no?
Right,
because position of the amano no so be focus on economy 24 hour.
Yes.
And I feel so the export nso ka ho nti export na nkasa will require say economy nso e be expanded in terms of hona na adwen eko if say Ghana economy we there and your economy as be emu yedi nti ya expanding no ya nhwe exports me as far as I'm concerned e be dim pa say yen no you bet me ahwe yen money and crop nti me so be hwe ho pa afeso Mahama nso say utumi kan the open so can find who be but a nice man nti me expect say or wait me akansem ama Ghana for ehun okay at this time no onyiyim obia obeka obia bom amana ama on panonso feel so no so a citizen so a spectator nti me expect say the theme of near in there sana ebeba.
Okay, but the general organization of the event when him say UTB or Shebi, what do you make of it? How the event has gone from the switch from 8th Parliament to 9th Parliament, or compared to 2021, the switch and then I see it and there.
And it's not to be compared. 2021 they don't to be compared that because it was extraordinary.
Right.
When the person talk me just all cap on talk the NC no. I'm for a choir 2 blues and then to me see. MC Nrano it was okay. It was Parliament. Right. Parliament they only said they be amount for 2 ball in God. Say the MC course ye pa the be course ye nti me ball mabaso. And then so preparations once and yet abayin bi na eye protocol state protocol Ghana and eye omo aye santi wo hwa umusano how to say omo ya de no and very soon no omo inaugurate Mahama na afede ye hu say okay is there any promises in 24-hour economy no say obepushi share the way obetumi ya de no but say no as me be say e asri na say e asri sembo ye nyina e boa but me patch say wo hye bobia e be expect say obedi so enti no ye be support but em say Ghana for so e kura notebook a o mark eba enti o mark nyina eba no na ye so ye countdown to 2028.
Okay. Yenya enswe in crab but master take
on aside I start crab but I lose and start say they won't try man in 2028.
Right. But Osha party no ye beba year 2028 and e ba Osha party ni baby amugina sesi ya master take 11-member committee to look into the defeat and a whole. Do you think that this is the way to go and now they could have done something better?
Oh, in victory or in defeat. So yeah, BBC. So would you couldn't cry so
right?
The hand say I want to be improved. Into that the quaswa no. Into my formal committee no. Me the me can say obi a officer or a dream be of a social biano on chamber now on fanko tuja then she be bia edi bedru ba mo emu me feel say sa committees ya bia bre.
Okay.
And the most important thing is say amount for ba no mudi in sem no tuja and say making sure this time around enko say the na it is a quantity the na no amount for be making sure say omo party mo omo run party no all the way to polling station omo who report no be na nyina hu the say e be me etumi atene party no run as a castle honum na nipa be 2 bi nkwa na cross report ndia and but ne kwaso a say nya committee ayi nyina be ko
ne akwa apia I should say to me and move forward.
Right. Sammy Crab and the initial remarks or the aban. My call Dr. Samuel Walanyo Mensa now or your running mates at the APC 2024 elections. Inauguration today, the swearing in of the president-elect. Any hope for the future?
Definitely, because Ghanaians voted for hope. First of all, good morning to our cherished listeners and viewers, depending on where one is. Let me also use this opportunity to wish Ghanaians a happy new year. Also pay homage to my senior comrades here, especially Mr. Sammy Crab, for also contributing his quota for national development. I believe the President Akufo-Addo has done quite well for superintending of a peaceful election, and I believe that he has done his part, and we need to appreciate what they have done. I believe the expectations of Ghanaians are quite high, and so he might not be able to meet all expectations for Ghanaians, but I believe he has been able to superintend over a peaceful country for some time now. And we should try as much as possible to desist from name calling and character assassinations and teasing, because that will not augur well for socio-economic development. Now, to the president-elect and now the president of the republic, former President John Mahama, we congratulate him. We believe that the task ahead is so numerous. I would say the expectations of Ghanaians now are very high, because I believe the Ghanaians voted on numerous issues. One has to do with corruption reduction, other has to do with governance, other has to do with bilateral international relations, other has to do with human rights issues. And so if you look at it holistically, I believe that the former president should be able to profess numerous solutions, being very proactive in developing this country. And so he needs to really champion issues about industrialization, issues about domestication, issues about nationalization, issues about digitization, issues about globalization, and be able to profess more solutions that will help us to develop the local economy, reduce redundancy and also dependency on foreign aid. And I also believe that it should tackle the economy very well. Because if you look at the economic indicators, being interest rates, inflationary rate, policy rates, growth rates, exchange rates, they are all negative. So there is a need for him to put a pragmatic team in place. These teams that will put the interests of the state first and not see the positions as a reward for their contributions or sacrifices for the party. And so I equally welcome his decisions to form an all-inclusive government, meaning that it's going to tap from different ideologies and philosophies, and that is how you build a national government. And so we need to really put these policies, economic policies in place that will help us to develop the economy locally. Now you also look at the issues about industrialization that even the outgoing government has championed through one district, one factory. And so if there is the need for us to develop the local areas, to develop the potentials in the local economy, then there is the need for us to develop the local government structure. So this local government structure will actually relieve the central government from unnecessary tensions and responsibilities, and also develop the local areas so that issues about rural-urban migrations will be kept, because the process where the rural folks migrate to the urban centers sitting for white-collar jobs are not existent. So we need to really work very hard to be able to develop this portfolio. We also look at if really we want to champion domestication through agribusiness and agro-processing, and also develop the pharmaceutical industry, develop the petrochemical industry, because Ghana is now exploring oil. Why do we continue to export our crude to Dubai and UK? and so refine them at a cost and bring it back to Ghana at a cost. Now, if we are able to refine our oil in Ghana, at least 70% of our domestic consumption in Ghana, it will help us. Even the byproduct which we use for the asphalt and the quota will also help us to develop the transportation system. So it's all about economic engineering. And so once we put the interests of the state first and foremost, I believe the current administration is likely to make inroads. But if we are not careful and we just stuff the system with partisan interest people, definitely what happens to NPP is likely to happen. And so we need to be very mindful that Ghanaians voted for change. Ghanaians have not necessarily voted for NDC. They have just voted for change, and that change must happen.
Yes, that change must happen. I'm say, Doctor Wolanyo, I go through a whole lot that needs to be done by the incoming administration, especially with respect to appointment. And everybody is talking about why and how not to appoint people as a reward for their political contribution, but based on expertise and professionalism. That's what Ubia is sounding. But at the end of the day, now acquire cronyism and nepotism, that we complain about it. So we are looking at the appointment. President, by this is the fourth set of appointment. Our first was a transition team, then it came to the security appointment, or biso or oral appointment into the oral team. And our Sanya Beye, one as a head of the presidency, we're in the chief of staff. Those who are going to work with him at the seat of government, including Julius Debra and other key people, Callistus, and also the legal team to the president, headed by Marietta. These are appointments that you can see and where the president wants to go. Hatia, you have gone through this appointment. Do you see where President Mahama wants to go, especially 4 sets of appointment? Who say he would want to go more professional, and now say this one will be all inclusive, not party people alone, because some other government here.
So far, the party from Kwana appointed.
That's what I'm saying. What is the change from the old order?
Or I'm not the person once.
Are they?
Because from the gender perspective, no.
Okay.
Oral Nokra is also no for us in the gender space, because we have 5 appointments, members.
Yes.
And which means or baby ni wa or Ghana ha na NDC abai mu a yebetimi aka say bia obai nso sefata.
Okay.
Meanwhile Ukai say His Excellency make a promise of an inclusive, not just inclusive te bia other political party. Yeah, inclusiveness as ebia vulnerable in society and in kekaya nyana.
Okay.
Because social affirmative action bill ma say back to law no. Say I train airline implementation aspects no. Say our president elect we ye best when ono na be act on that law.
Okay.
In this sa appointment was 30 year where ora na mema means 5. Obey security so mema nkwa. We're even talking on our page say na dey be ye because ya start say be hu adia emma enka ho ena adia chia na ehu seat of government appointments no. The before that was the security by and I maybe say you were ma excelling in the security field, even some are in the NGOs into President Mahama or because all inclusiveness more just within his party. Or share within his party no one here sa zim no awo kan nyina one here bebem inti enano yeda sore na hu say why appointment 7 no 2 out of 7 tie o share platform cry dey he say 2 out of 7 no obi abesria ye emoji bi say bia then ebinu beka say oh won say last one no won say acting wo ho e bia acting no wo be act keke ye be yi no e di oba aba ho. And I say be I can't just obao. Said ye mere appointment of Bermano. Nipa funny glasses in your finching and busa say Berma you free him what did but obadi a bitch ya be baby odakra. Internet normally
any day ye foul. ana de wo ye
absolutely omo hwe say on merit on beka say bia say nti see ano ye gender we have well focused and found say we MPP ni NDC ni CPP ni na say ma opposition na say obi ebe attack will come all out to defend the person.
Touch one, touch all.
Yes.
Okay.
Because ya nyeno sana man ye endorse wom kakra na ya say na ya twa assign na ya say intermediate me feel say early days yet. His Excellency any appointment is here Marita.
Yes.
Her position is very key. To say Attorney General in a
the president own Attorney General.
And your friend is saying Mrs. Valerie
sorry.
Yamano senior advisor on something. Yeah. But you're good. What means say yes you we always say we want to be on the table. Yen pese you be draw circle exclude because the draw circle exclude will draw the circle to include all of you. Then you na yan come. Into appointments no so key ones na ye see ministers how be appointing or appointed we so na ya hwe to say free zones all the institutions no ever under government no ye be hwe say bia ehinna ma beko
okay
oba no a ye de no kosi no ne Hank kika hon what she understands because yen pese say the can say obema de appointing na yen fifi mu be oba na ye wo data uba awli ye wo data wo hwe friend say all the NGOs no data no are there for a bia president pe oba obetimi afiti into a year or consulti gender will advise him on that okay. Because as I say baby I do ya brabo no as I say yenhwe looking out for our own man say man position ya man support no yanka say me CPP ni mapa o but me CPP ni but me ya Ghana ni
okay
and you choose me nyonko oba I'm very happy I celebrate the achievements of women because of my orientation nkruma hu say oh ye de to competition mu de no o ye de o di law call Parliament 1960 and a pass year it me elect ya appoint omu ye mamma nko na china ho enom sesa na anka ye pe after 2000 no won say na 200 MPs
right
time I did 30 by no yes you anka 30 ye mamma nko and contest obi antie at former president Atamil so 45 omo antie anka wo in our kitty would have been having 75 and they're constant and son of which me agina omo nine so akun am I nti anka sab gender parity no a ye hwehwe no anka yanya because you cannot be signing on protocols and conventions in international world but domestication said me brakai yen domesticate all the protocols and conventions na yakọ sign no and na ha adwen kakra nti me hopeful say 30% no His Excellency
Obediso. Basically on gender or say a few in Hembano they are fighting for themselves whether you are in MPP NDC or mobetimi but may switch it just briefly and discussing more of the Ecoso Independence Square no manyanti yesel say dan ye ho e wo hoba sesia na meba ura same crab ne Dr. Samuel Anyoso appointment of JDM ne office and what we should expect based on what we have seen so far and just a few minutes yeah bako e hoba sesia.
Hi guys, good morning. and I welcome you to the Mega 6 morning cash out. I hope you guys played a game. Let me repeat, this is your chance to win up to 1 million Ghana cedis. My name is Adepa and I'm your host for this morning. Let's release our balls to know the numbers for this morning's cash out. Always remember that our games are regulated by the National Lottery Authority and not for persons below 18 years of age. Good luck to you guys. I hope the odds will be in your favor. Our first number is 35. 35. Our second number is 21. 21. 21. Our third number is 19. 19. 1 9. 3 out, 3 more to go. Our fourth number is 20. 20. 20. 20. Our fifth number is 49. 49. 49. And our last and final number is 31. 31. 31. 31. Guys, all our balls are out now, and I'll announce the numbers again in order of appearance. Our first number for today is 35. 35. Congratulations to you if you stake 35 as direct one. Our second number is 21. 21. 21. 21. Our third number is 19. 19. 19. 19. Our fourth number is 20. 20. 20. 20. Our fifth number is 49. 49. 49. 49. And our last and final number is 31. 31. 31. 31. Congratulations to you, my people. I hope you guys have won some cool cash this morning. See, let me tell you, people are winning. Those who are not staking, what are you waiting for? You can win up to 1 million Ghana cedis. What are you waiting for? Just pick up your phone, dial *266#, or you can download the Mega 6 app on Google Play Store or Apple Store, or you can visit our website on www.mega6games.com, or you can walk to that lotto kiosk in your neighborhood. Bisa agent ni so Ultrama Mega 6 ana. So Ultra Mega 6 abana, odi chawa ban 1 to 49 numbers. This is not difficult. Just take your numbers, go home and wait for us for the afternoon cash out. My name is Adepa. See you at 12:50 p.m. for the afternoon cash out.
My name is Peter Kwesi Adenyo. I won 8,000 cedis of Mega 6 Lotto. I played it 20 cedis for the 6 numbers, standard number, and I won 8,000. When I played, I used the short code *266#. Mega 6 Lotto is a godsend because I wanted to go and pick a Uber car, and they say it's 1,500 for the registration. I don't have money, so that day someone gave me money, and then I said, let me play this. And that evening, I won that money. I won 2,000. So that was what I used the 1,500 and go and take the Uber car.
Angel 102.9
FM ye beto adwumadi ne so enche na mampanyi foforo oba was start ne kasa yeguso monitor events at the Independence and as a Black Star Square because so hobia ne ye be mamo share mo share live on TV no mahu say arrival of the president and the heads of state no mo ba the enche dwumadi no ebe hyase pa na okasa wia na obi akofie akɔhye omanmuo na nkasa ase that is a holiday ne honeymoon period ni over my member Rasame Crab still our studio ha yen kɔhye the appointment haji ase man no share the affirmative action the promise of a number of women war abaimono almost share the so far there munya ehuni yesa. Which kind of people, what criteria, and what are you expecting from the incoming administration with respect to appointments? Yeah, I
mean, Mr. Mahama, wabedi president, sir. Enti, ono ready so obia, sebi ondi bida. Enti also share the initial appointments na, utun say solid.
Yeah.
Or agado munina, omuye nkrofo ayedni mo say omude enimdefo nkrofo so more experience. Julius Debra say we share the background, ebi amanfo nim ni yi. But ono sha se ache. You know, a kid on Musa, no a regional chairman.
Okay.
He's the regional chairman. As an Okwakoye CEO of Ghana Tourist Authority.
Okay.
And a regional minister, Eastern, and a local government. Into and was a chief of staff paying. Or no, so name say, no, 4 years pay. Oh, into 4 years, no, I said. Otumi nyankrofo a sebi ensa be na omo afi no mba besua say esi bu oman no.
Okay.
No, into hwa Debra say solid. Gusita no nso yes den nim say o nso obo no humoden obi a wa che e politics nti ono be hu the way a obetumi handle side and so no nso na oyo mo spokesperson as chairman of omo committee a or share omo trade ni Sunday maniama no. And I wish Bruce, Marietta Bruce, also a very accomplished legal luminary. I think so. Banimo, Mahama, Callistos, no. I'm say very solid local government. I'm saying or head of local government for so many years. Exactly. So far, the so good Valerie so don't so achieve. No, I'm saying no a deputy chief of staff.
Yeah, long ago.
Exactly. Into omo wa assemble ni nyina oyo nkrofo a omo ni medwuna mu dada. Into me feel say he is looking at probably experience and then qualification. Omo metumi aboa no. Amene tumi aye dwuma no very quickly because they say there honeymoon no yenya butre I feel so 2028 no so a remupe na say a political year
even before
nti amambo na make na be 2.5 years pe
right
nti em say wa sha se yi na gender balance nso wa ya de say wa hwe edi imaba mu politics dey edi because enye man ta enra politics no
Mona monhwehwe omo ana ebi ni ho
first no enye sisi ampocho
but omo time remo empre enkoso because I didn't grow that for mo in some wo na sa pull him down ni friction e ma bre ewo mu one patch na so sika han no so so oba ebo no humode no do so no na fa am for fi say bia of akwan bi so other than say nenim die and a man in your position no nti edin pa nti who selected because my tina dem I selected in ma and I selecting Crawford for committee one hwe yi a ebe forward so because the member na aggressive the one say we appointing member nti me dem afa bi mu da nti say oye very vigilant wa shebo a so make sure say obe adhere to sa percentage na okay but so far no me nim omo a ombeba die I think so no see obe appointed 60 ministers. Right. 60 ministers and she says so your uncle for me very experienced in politics or me very qualified. Say I had just the kind you know ebi mo so be dwa kakra because ono so wa bre na ono so o koye MP no office e bia obenya minister di say e be di afa no ko ho e di ani beba e di muso be nam one say so edinsem aba but no so politics so your president officer won Crawford no bia obetumi satisfy bia na say you are in the dreamland and you say no so my very experienced politician who the way obetumi manage you but ne kwan so a me feel say so otumi enya 60 ministers at least the perception signal or obetumi Ghana for and say they say the politics no we are focusing more on driving Ghana than say ye pay positions. Am I ye down for 4? Into say the baby ano say 16 na a bedroom man I am a Jumani ye and answer end to me one poa. When ya can quite their own so. Na enye bibia a better hot mama in ano. And actually a bad government, you keep government very small. Now my Ghana for no any more confidence because me election where you and one thing I mean who you say I'm for AI fed up with the 2 main political parties. Internal obit say chair say obey a popular no. Oh, it is 2 main political parties no ya sisa
Musubaya
a bedding one here dachi be obefum. Oh never said parties are very strong into adding pa. But I mean about air can. Once upon a time CPP was the most powerful party in Ghana. Yeah. Into nobody should take Ghanaians for granted, especially the CN. Into yen started by pruning government.
Okay.
Now to me, you use very powerful people and knowledgeable people who agency level.
Yeah.
Oh, experts, no more driver there. You get to the same. The whole of America, millions of people cry more 24 ministers pay. 24 pay.
Or 120 and over.
Well, I don't know. And the assassin, the
do you foresee, say, President Mahama a bit to me? Yenim said time ago, President Kofa Kwasindum, who was out and out CPP, out people who were not within his party, properly so called. Was it PNC, Malamisa, Okofan Beti minister? That time, MPP for but. Or no, all inclusive government in CPP, PNC, there were people from other parts. Do you foresee, say, we best say, President Mahama?
Mahama, or a nice man. Right. It's possible, say, or a person, or a sadena. So, wait me, because you see, I didn't 60 pay almost 60. And I'm 13 every parliament, into perform new queen, Ubeja or Mechi. No, I for be a free baby man. I have any minister. Is a minister in there? I say, Galam say, go do. Ninya edin o na pa che no nti o nice mo be so be ye by any ministerial appointments in kwa na amount for nso betumi a contribute betumi a hwe other in system betumi a committees or agencies ni sa de no amankofo aba beboa o na pa che ne de e be okay be send very strong signal because your politics now say winner takes all nti na any breba no oh your president bibia wo o government o party or government bibia wo and it shouldn't really be so. Oh, but you can use experts. I said, Dr. Walanyo, you're expert economy. So you can use experts from everywhere. And then the Americans on try, say, obey it. I think so. The other things when they say, yeah, politics is not going to be say. One, they're appointed. Now, we MPP need pa, now, we post that we
Untuminti na krum habi. As a what betray.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, because we crowd leaking information into the reward you.
Exactly.
This one your expertise.
Exactly. Into a bedding. And say ono so try grab one. One never call.
Akoji.
One never koji. Obi ankoji. Me say me nkoji da.
Oh, Oma wa juma wonje.
Oh, a juma kro any government appointment. Oh, government minister.
Regardless of experience, how were in a field.
No.
And then, so why would it be the notion
I said governance and yet working for the government to acquire governance. Opposing the government to say a part of governance.
Okay. So you want to be opposing instead of contributing in a field towards the attainment of a particular goal.
Well, opposition is a contribution to the field in towards the attainment of a particular goal.
Okay. And you say,
yes, because we're honor, and I also say, or chair with me, I criticize. As a criticism for criticism, say me kwa boa.
Okay.
Until by opposing, by criticizing, say be
alternative.
Absolutely. And also, a manipano who said no. I said me three. And you biana. I accept this idea. No, because who oppose no, be say bia.
Yeah, we challenge.
But I hope say on for opposition, no. I say we challenging into penas and I say we want to bring it down because without opposition, there's absolutely nowhere. We bet me the right thing.
Right. Dr. Walanyo, the appointments so far. And what we should expect of the incoming administration will be sharing all inclusive, will be share affirmative action to help more women in government experience. Name what you expect from the president to be sworn in today.
Thank you so much. I believe, as the senior comrades clearly said, these appointments must take into account the size of government and also the size of the presidency.
Okay.
And so we need to reduce drastically the size of government. So the president said he's going with 60 ministers. That is laudable. Already we have 16 for regional ministers. And so the other ministries will be 44.
And their deputies, that's a ministers, regional ministers, 32.
Yes, what he needs to do is that most ministries must be merged.
Okay.
Like information and communication, we have sanitation and local governments, we have fisheries, aquaculture, they are all agric. And I believe if we succeeded in that, government would definitely reduce the size of government. And also look at the size of presidency. Currently, I think Nanado's presidencies are around 1,100 staffs. And I believe that we need to reduce that drastically.
Presidency?
Yes.
1,100. Yes. And then the outgoing administration, yes. 1,100. Just the presidency.
Exactly. So we need to reduce that drastically by 50%. We must not have beyond 700 staffs at the presidency.
I think there used to be 600 or so.
Yes, John Mahama's first term was 600. Yes. So if anything at all, 100 more.
1,000, so over 1,000
staffs at the presidency. And if you look at the quantum of salaries, remunerations, and emoluments, it's so huge on the government, and that alone takes a quantum of resources. If you look at the free SHS alone, about 30% of our revenue generations is going to finance education.
Right.
And so government is not able to plan very well. Then definitely there will be a recipe for disaster. And also looking at the affirmative bill, I believe that gender equality must be key.
Okay.
At least 30% of all appointments must be female. And also we need to look at people with disability.
Okay.
People with disability is also key. And we also look at the regional balance or cultural balance. I don't want to say tribal balance, but we should also look at various groups that forms Ghana, so that we'll be able to address their key concerns. But appointments should be solely based on competence, capacity, care. And these three pillars will definitely help us to be able to really achieve greater results. Because most people, if they are not competent, then they tend to do their own thing. So competence must be key. Having the capacity to is one. Ability to deliver. And the president should be able to make it clear, national policy, that after 2 years there will be a reshuffling. And so that everybody prepares and don't see it as...
Now, should the timeline even be indicated? You can be taken out any time. Depending the amount of 2 years, I be obese or prayer, then it's a can work. But when you don't know when you will leave,
it's not easy also to go into governance. It's not like running maybe a merchant sim, but then a lot of policies goes into governance. So definitely when we are putting up structures, governmental structures, ministries, departments, agencies, we need to be very careful, because sometimes it takes 6 months, a year for you to really clearly understand the concept. And by that, you have just about a year to really work effectively and efficiently. And so just also taking people unaware, maybe it will end up being the personal vendetta. And so we should also be very careful, because that is why we need to really vet people, make a lot of background investigations before appointment, so that we don't just keep changing people as if they are mobile money vendors and we can just get up and change. That will also makes your government to be stranded. So we should be very careful of that. Then they should also focus on blocking the loopholes within the system.
Okay.
Because now government doesn't have much, and it have a lot to be able to satisfy. So we need to block the loopholes within the system in terms of revenue generations and in terms of corruption, So it's good that he set up the anti-corruption task force that is really going to coordinate the activities of the various anti-corruption agencies, like the IOCO, like the SRAJ, like the Police CID unit, like that of the Attorney General, Special Prosecutor, Controller, Accountant Generals, and
Special Prosecutor.
Exactly. So that they will be able to really.
And now there's oral.
Oral is not legally binding, but it's just like a committee that is set up to really fish out background information. And I see it as an anti-corruption task force that will coordinate the activities of the various anti-corruption institutions. So they might not necessarily be doing the work, but be feeding the various anti-corruption institutions and also to prevent duplications. Because the work that CID unit is doing must not be seen to be Iroko equally doing the same thing, because we end up wasting resources and time. And so this anti-corruption task force is really going to help us, and it should take people who are not money conscious, because not that they should just be professionals, but some people are very, very professionals but very corrupt. So they shouldn't be people who are money conscious and people who are very materialistic.
You even know, say, Nipa no money conscious.
But at least by working with these people for a very long time, looking at the pedigree of President Mahama, having worked as a head of state in this country, should have been able to assess, at least to a very high level, how these individuals can contribute for national development. And so that we don't do try and error, try your luck. We don't do that again. And I believe once you put those pragmatic policies in place, definitely Ghana will be smiling soon.
Right. These are the issues people will be looking out to. The ordinary Ghanaian, can so many terms, but they expect a whole lot. Employment, people on the streets and all that. I think, sir, if you are given the opportunity, what will you be, say, President Mahama? These three things should be on your table from the first day you are sworn in to address it, because then they are critical at this point of our life.
Well, it shouldn't be even three. It should be about 5 to 7. One has to do with industrialization, that developing the potentials in the local areas is one, and also developing the agribusiness base of the country. What I mean is that we already have the existing structures, like the Farmers' Day celebration, which we can now modernize. Because I see no reason why we should be giving them colors and hoes as remunerations for hard work. So government can now divide it into 3 thematic areas: district level, regional level, and national level. And we can go into commercial farming. Don't appoint party, constituency, and regional executives into the main government. The government should be able to support their party executives to go into commercial farming. And within 2 to 3 years, Ghana will achieve food security, water security. And that too, because if you look at the inflationary rate, the food inflation is so high. And if government really wants to stabilize the local economy, then it needs to work on the food inflation. Because once prices of foods and foodstuffs are on the reductions, definitely life becomes more comfortable for every Ghanaian. That is one. And the other one too has to do with developing a strong how will I put it? We need to add value. We need to add value to our primary products. And so we need to go beyond just extracting the raw materials and exporting. So even the countries that are now buying our gold, we need to compel them to be able to set up these gold refineries in Ghana. That will create more jobs, expand the economy, and be able to reduce unemployment. Another one has to do with the petrochemical industry. Let's develop it. We can build a new refinery at the Tema Enclave, or even still be able to develop the capacity of Tema or refinery, or build a new one at the Takoradi Enclave. Develop the economy, create it, and be able to employ more. Local technologies is also key, like what Apostle Safo Kantaka is currently doing. Government can go into a PPP agreement, private partnership agreement, so that we'll be able to develop the potentials of various private firms. So what Apostle Safo Kantaka is doing, government will go into agreement then we'll be able to go into decentralization. So Ashanti region can concentrate on maybe manufacturing pickups. Volta region can be manufacturing water pumping machines. Greater Accra region can be manufacturing maybe Uber cars, and so on and so forth. So that by 2 to 3 years, we'll be able to develop the local economy in terms of manpower. This manpower will help us to reduce importation of equipment, plants, and machineries. Right. Even currently, we import wheelbarrows into this country. I think if definitely we want to change the narrations of this country, that is how we should go. Then government must also look at the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Okay.
The treaties, the conventions, the rule of origin must be well and clearly defined. It sees that a lot of entrepreneurs in Ghana don't really have markets for their produce, and so at the end of the day, it discourages them. Now, the moment we have more market, people begin to produce to meet those market demands. So what we need to do is that our various embassies across the African continent, we need to set up a marketing department, marketing and innovation department. And what this marketing and innovation department is supposed to do is that they need to identify the key components of product that these countries needs, which we have absolute advantage and comparative advantage to produce right here in Ghana, so that we end up creating markets for those who are already exactly. And so issues about infant industries and local industries, we're really going to rejuvenate them and be able to put them in the global lifeline, and that will really help us to expand our economy. And that is how we are going to create jobs. So job creation must not be the sole responsibility of the president or the presidency or the government. It must be an orientation, it must be an agenda, and that agenda must affect and roll out a policy that will integrate both the private and the public.
Thank you very much. Dr. Wolanyo, 2024 running mate for the APC. Economists, a whole lot of issues are all coming here. How to expand our markets, especially with our embassies. They say we have moved from aligning with the West, aligning with the East, with the diplomats. Now we are going to find market for our products. Now young people sweating around. But we've been talking about the presidency and the administration. The most important part of the administration will also be the representation of the people in parliament. Yehu the 8th parliament, Yehu the 9th parliament, Yehu speaker, first deputy, second deputy. Hajia, do you think that this parliament will also have the capacity? Well, more than 140 of them are new members. Or mobile, I mean, they are females, they are young people. More than 40 of them are below the ages of 40. And you hear how it is constituted. This is a parliament, a whole blend of a whole lot from academia, from a baby, realm. How do you see the current parliament? NDC was super majority. The speaker is also from their side. How will they help the new administration? The first deputy is also from there.
Yeah, I think in all sincerity, all of us are talking about inclusiveness and then fairness and what have you. So NDC, under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, pese Ghana for enkase yetuma mono kra yenune hu a omunye djuma pa omunkase, because one way ya some majority, absolute majority no manya na obi ya be fa omuti no obi ye djuma bia ense emfata omunhwe Ghana first, omunhwe constituency omo reject so many of the MPs no in their place no omunhu say more trust and confidence in them. That's why they are there. You're talking about new and young. We are sure say will be our person won't call parliament bia why any homework kakra why any juma parliamentary handside back be and how parliamentary proceedings echo. And me sure say orientation soon bebam. Ya elected party in Jawosa and parliament and Kasankasa and Jawosa say, oh, ya elected the Quatanasi, who ye jumano. But almost Ombeko Gimpa, Ombeko Akoye orientation be how to even Upesa won't be or parliament. Nina am some entity. But me problem no say NDC shouldn't say because more majority no Beko Akoye no Mabia. Now me share say abangwe sa constitutional review committee His Excellency former President Mills for me when we saw the document by anka the current president ya elected me SSA anka on implement it. They say they issue a white paper about to say be a district assembly election. So you see and shortlisted 3 people named to Abamom and then you know nka go report. Yes say be elected MMDC it should be election by all. Ebema enukra ama winner takes all no akọ kakra because bia wo call region bi to say Ashanti region obehu MC no a on free NDC but we MC ube call baby to say voter region voter region they definitely be but regions are me many ji omo na Ashanti region Greater Accra in Western region why any other tribe can win an election in that region. But we know why so we call Upper East. Say me I Upper East because school be by me to me win election be our Upper East. Debbie, Omonto Mami. Voter region the same thing. But I quite say Accra cosmopolitan area and Kumasi. When people talk about Ashanti region, we are not mystery because Kumasi nkwa na almost Zongo. It was Sabon Zongo, Fanti Newtown, Anglaga. Me who no baby our Ghana. Me who no baby our Ghana. Inti sana me pese aban we enhwe. No ma omo 180 no onko mti because ebe ha adwen. And at the omo nka say because omanya 180 no loss bi o ho mbekwa ko pass. Unkan unsa o pass law enya papa no that should be betu. You
apply to you.
Inti omon hwede very very important. Me hwe to say bia decoupling Sir Attorney General and Minister of Justice and come best secretary and me dey be. Why? Because you can look on your own person's face to prosecute the person. And then number 2, district assembly any elective na hey no be from Kakrao because they be a mimi kojina kumungu and betu ama me as MC because I want and I have a large following and family there. Na kwa say me CPP background but me so me wo even though we are not practicing federalism to say Nigeria and yeah but yeah this year a very stronger abai na so beju no but akwa say winner takes all no so a hard drink akra and anka me from the gender perspective and kebehwe sa first past the post no say baby or kwa ye list emma to say vulnerable in society and women and disability my brother yikano list no then they reserve those seats for that na omonso nye den inti say be tinya ye changes kakra we constitution na enye say bia ye ko change constitution to reduce the strength of EC boss and I say your friend said they also are in friends
the EC the Speaker of
Parliament right. And Chief Justice Ninke Kaya yes anwa e be fail you
okay
because bia na ye wo e china e be you and one say system no and institutions no should be well equipped na ombeye non-partisan. After all, whether we like it or not, MPP in this one problems of this country because we are opposition. He finds all the faults of judiciary, EC, Shraj, bias. Young say Charlotte Osei, my good friend, sworn in His Excellency Nana Dudankwa Akufo-Addo. She declared him. Is it not Jim Mensah who declared John Dramani Mahama? They say yen hwe na yen jai say bia oh way. The man for start to say a petition yen Jim Mensah yen yiwe. Say governance is a process. It's not an event.
Right.
Inti meno to me no they should take their majority to do a yo woman and yo man's job for this country.
Right.
Then can say say cause omo ye bebrebe mo beba be yan oh omo sheme critics. Because we are very, very optimistic. Say, okay. And a young ones no so omunsuya. Uka about young, most of them also my old drama. So when you know call Parliament, we are young. Yeah. Because in the CPP we had somebody who was even 30 something during Nkrumah's regime. J. Kufuor was about 30 something or something. He became a deputy minister, and so on and so forth. And one say, if you want to do something, be determined, read widely. Even say in your Parliament crowd, or person who could be chairman or party, or person who general secretary or party, a so winning party number cosem, a so winning the do's and don'ts, a dear and a bam party no ebe CC.